these players are going to just be bored. Coming in, you could just see the thousands of people, and we can't thank them enough. This is a special day. This is probably as big a day as even, all the other things that go with this.
Bruce Bochy. I tell you, highs and lows, he just kind of keeps it even.
He does.
Even keeled, but yet, since they won, all we've seen is a smile from his face. You can see some of the bands lining up right now. These are probably some of the high school kids. We know 6 different high schools in Arlington, from Arlington ISD, have all been practicing. They're all performing together for this big celebration. Can you hear them? Have they started playing?
Yeah, some of them didn't even know what songs they're going to play, so they had to quickly practice, but they're highly skilled. They know what they're doing, and they're sounding great.
And I love that they're including, being so inclusive, including the young people in this, because this really is an experience that some people haven't seen, in their whole lifetime. So definitely a Texas-sized celebration, and it's good to include everyone that has cheered this team on, for those who have cheered the team on for just a little while to those who have cheered on the team for their whole life.
Yeah, so it looks like we are underway here, maybe even a little bit early, but obviously this is part of the parade, and you can see just the hundreds of thousands of people lined along that route there, waiting to get a view of the players who will eventually be coming out.
Right, and you think, all the people that are at the parade, then you think about all the people who are watching at home, too, that are decked out in their Rangers gear, or maybe have their pets dressed up. I saw some people sharing on our social media, too. This is just exciting for so many. We're going to head back out to the parade route. Fans really getting fired up. Peyton, are you seeing anything yet in your spot?
We are definitely getting antsy. We're getting closer. They're doing the wave right now. But what I've noticed, cheers are beginning. What I've noticed is, little kiddos, they have baseballs, they have Sharpies, there's posters. And there's this one poster over here that really caught my eye, and I want to talk to them. I have Amanda and Sierra. Amanda, talk to me about who you're here to support. Talk to me about your sign.
Yeah, so we are supporting Nathaniel's mom as she's battling cancer. We like to say the win of the World Series was for her. My cousin's also battling cancer, so it's a very touchy subject. So we're just here to support the Rangers on their win of the World Series.
Sierra, how happy are you that you're here and you have a great spot?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so exciting. We have been Rangers fans our whole entire lives. Back in 2011, we had just had huge watch parties. We've always just come out and support the Rangers. So we're so excited. Our whole family is here with us.
Yeah.
We're just so happy to be out here today.
Are you hoping that maybe Nathaniel will see your sign?
Yes, we're hoping. We even brought a baseball for him to sign, so fingers crossed, manifesting.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Keep fighting, girl. Thank you so much. Thank you. Everyone is really hoping that there'll be some autographs. I don't know. I don't have any hookups. I'm just here alongside, hoping that maybe they'll come over here, maybe they'll sign some autographs, but we have a lot of little kids that are hoping that they do. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Well, Peyton, you don't have the hookup? Come on, girl.
I don't know. They're asking me, they're like, hey, can you hold out your long arms and maybe get them to sign? I'm like, they
You never know. You never know. So Peyton, you're kind of on the whole other side of where the loop is, at the top, and they've started, from what we've been told, they have started the bands to kick things off right at the very beginning. So just be patient. Tell everyone to be patient. They'll be there soon.
They're on their way. There's
cool, we're ready.
Live look right there from Sky 4. You can see the bands marching along there. Yeah, they kind of kicked this off with the bands, which they usually do. And then, of course, they've got, I think, about 12 floats in this parade that were handcrafted and put together yesterday in Arlington. And are ready for this parade. So the players are going to be boarding those here and heading out.
And this doesn't look like just bands. This looks like, the dance teams.
The color guard and everything, yeah.
Pom squads as well. So definitely those in Arlington. We know several different school districts, not just Arlington ISD, let kids out for this special moment, but also because they wanted them to take part. They wanted them to kick off the celebration, to really show that this is a community effort. These these players went out there and they fought their hardest, and they've basically played their whole lives for this very moment. But a lot of them say they could not have done it without the fans' support. And so this is, I feel like, their chance to bring the trophy to the fans.
Yeah, and you heard the fan there talking about Nathaniel Lowe's mom.
Right.
Okay, so this is one of the things I was reading that really sort of, gelled the fans with the players and made them very relatable, made them very likable. Just made this, not only the team kind of gel together and get cohesive, but just the fans kind of rallying around them this season.
And they're personable. They share their stories. They share the highs. They share the lows, and that's what sometimes helps make a team a team.
Yeah, we're looking at this
seen.
huge crowd. You can see just off the side of there. I mean, we've been saying this all morning, but people showed up even last night. They were getting there last night to get a spot for this parade, and some of them brought chairs. Some of them, and the advice from the police department and from the city was pack light, because as you can see, they are jam-packed in there. And again, the barricades were kind of set up. The crowd started filling in. It's shoulder to shoulder. People just hoping to catch a glimpse of the players. And they even had, they're treating this sort of like a tailgate party anyway. They've got the tents set up there. They've got cooking going on. Paige was sampling some breakfast burritos this morning as everybody showed up.
Yeah, one big old Rangers rally, if you will. So this is one of the areas that we're looking at. You can see the parade has not made its way down to this section yet. I read a quote this morning I loved, and it said, "Now, after 5 stadiums, roughly 24 managers, and 10,033 games, the Rangers are champions."
Wow, that's great.
It shows you just how long this journey has been.
Well, and I remember covering their World Series appearance back in 2010 and then 2011. It was so exciting, and Rangers fans were so excited to see them go, but they couldn't get the win. And, a lot of people were wondering, are we ever going to get there? Are we ever going to get back? And as you watch this team, Chip and Steve and Sam were talking about this. They had this, just real sort of grit, fighting through, a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries. They had that period during the summer when they were losing all of these games. It seemed they were on this losing streak, and a lot of people wondering, are they going to get back into the win column? But boy, then we got to the playoffs, and they started this road game win streak that sets an MLB record. So just what an incredible season it's been.
Yeah, definitely. So it's kind of hard to hear. This is our helicopter that's up, so we can get you the best views. For those of you that are at home, I have to say, it's a little better from high above than it might be down, unless you're like right in the front. So, but these are 6 different high schools from Arlington that we're seeing all lined up there. One of the songs that they're playing is the classic baseball song, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," which is just perfect for this moment.
Perfect, I would say. And they're starting out, they started at Globe Life Field and sort of the backside of the stadium there. The parade starts out on Cowboys Way, and then it goes and takes a right on AT&T Way. And then just shortly after that, they'll probably hit the location where Paige Ellenberger is. So here in just a little bit, we'll try to get some live pictures there from her as well, and maybe we can see what it looks like from her vantage point. But then it continues on around up on AT&T Way, and they take a right, and then they go back behind Choctaw Stadium, which is basically the old stadium where they used to play, the old ballpark. They're going to go to Ballpark Way, going to take a right, and then that's when they kind of, they're going to pass Peyton Yeager there, so we'll get some shots from her of the parade, but then they're going to head back toward Globe Life Field. And of course, once they get back to Globe Life Field, they're going to be able to stop. They're going to address the crowd. We're going to hear from the players and also hear from Bruce Bochy as well.
Yeah, the day has come after a long, long wait. Texas Rangers World Series champs. More coverage of the big parade when we come back.
Welcome back. You're looking at live pictures from Sky 4 of the championship celebration parade in Arlington. It is on. We have begun. And again, thousands upon thousands of people have poured into Arlington's entertainment district, the logistics of which was just nothing short of an enormous feat. I mean, they had an expectation that 250,000 people would be there. There were instructions on where to park. They even had some of the lots had a setup where you could sit and watch monitors showing the parade, because I think the assumption was not everybody is going to get close enough to even see it. The police department, of course, just well versed in this. They have games all the time, but this one equated to, I think it was 2 Cowboys games and 4 Rangers games all at the same time. Whew. And the Arlington's mayor spoke about the logistics earlier.
The Rangers, the city, everybody worked well together on getting everything done. Huge logistical nightmare, making sure that we get everybody safely in and out of Arlington through the parade route, you know, with the hundreds of thousands that are out here.
Yep, safety being key for the mayor, being key for police. This needs to be and is a moment of joy, pure celebration. Sam, Steve, Chip, baseball's a very, very, very long season, but I think this is the best way to end it with a World Series victory parade. Are you guys seeing anything out there yet?
Hey, well, yes. I tell you what we're thinking. We're thinking what everybody's thinking. Where are the players? Where are the players?
Where are the players?
That is true. We are thinking that. I do want to just make a comment about what these crews have done as far as setting up everything. You think about police, they are here to protect and to serve. The way that they are serving right now is yeoman's work, and they are truly trying to find that win-win. How far can they allow those barricades to be put up while also providing safety and protection for those that are involved in the parade, and they're doing a bang-up job. And I really want to just shout out to all those that are doing that. Cannot thank you enough for serving us in the way that you are.
I agree, and Chip won't be pulled over in Arlington for 10 years.
Exactly right.
Way to go. Sam, you've been out here before this season, and it's so fun to see how the fans, sometimes they're fickle, but they come back, boy. If you start winning, there's nothing. You win.
No doubt.
They come.
It's a totally different ball game, and when we were out Wednesday night for Game 5, there were a lot of Rangers fans that traveled for that, so kudos to them. I'm just so happy for this fan base, the fact that they get to share this with their team through the ups, the downs, the roller coaster ride, the heartache. Finally, that heartache ends today, and they get to celebrate it here with the fans that have stuck with them through thick and thin, and there's nothing like it. Your first one, nothing like it.
All right, so I still don't know. We saw, as we came in, Chip and Sam, we both all saw this.
Yeah.
There are some flat-top kind of trailers that look like people may sit on wood benches, but there are also trucks. The trailers with that looked kind of, I don't know, different. And then there were so many big trucks, like 80 of them decked out with a single pad in the back that I believe they'll be in the pickups. That's what I think.
And I think that is a great setup for the fans that are going to be watching this parade, because what it means is with every pickup truck that goes by, you're going to see a finite number of players in each one, and you're really going to truly be able to see all of the players that you've been cheering for all year and give them the proper salute, instead of having a big bank of people and you're like, hey, I've almost picked out a couple. That's not going to happen.
And from the interviews we saw, the guys who were interviewed, they were wearing their jerseys.
They were.
So they have their name on the back. And
that is helpful.
Jordan Montgomery.
I love Josh Ford, too, saying yesterday was a recovery day, a much-needed day.
And he wasn't talking about his arm.
No, he wasn't. There's going to be a lot of fun had here on the plaza as we await the arrival of the 2023 World Series champs.
I love the kids. I love the school kids. I love the bands.
Yeah.
But
having to learn "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" is not easy. I had to figure it out on the guitar in a day, and that wasn't fun to start our World Series coverage, and that was neat to do. But to do it with a bunch of other people playing in concert, even harder. And you talk to some of those band directors, they say that normally when they're introducing a song, it takes a couple of weeks. They're able to pull it off in a day. Way to go.
It is amazing. You're right.
They put this together very quickly, so kudos to everyone involved because this is a huge undertaking.
All right, well, they're moving on. I don't know, Brandon and Lauren, what are your thoughts? Are you ready for the players?
Yeah, I think we're ready for the players.
Well, you know,
I'd like to see that trophy, too.
I do think it's interesting to see all these kids out here. And the band director, one of the band directors said something that I thought was really interesting. He said, most of these kids, like, they're used to Friday Night Lights, like, pretty much performing in front of their parents. So to come out there and perform in front of 250, 250,000, 300,000 people, I think some of the band directors were a little nervous, and I think some of these kids were probably a little nervous as well. So definitely a special moment for them. And one of the band directors said to see my kids being showcased and their music showcased and appreciated in front of all these people and in the city of Arlington really is a treat. And he also just kind of threw it back to the Rangers and said, the Rangers have always been about community, and for them to showcase the students really is just top notch.
Yeah, I remember doing that actually when I was in high school, marching in marching band, and I know we were in the several parades, and I remember.
I thought your parade wasn't this big.
No,
Brandon.
I just remember the lesson that we were told, hey, don't let up, because at some point, at any point in the parade, somebody's watching you.
Oh.
So it's not like they could just walk off the football field at the end of a game and they're good to go. This is a very long route for them. What is it, 2-mile route, I guess? Not all that long, but still, it's a ways. There you see the band there, kind of a front-on shot of them coming toward the camera. Yeah, just like you said, just a really neat opportunity for all of the high schools there, 6 high schools, to have their band students participate in this and really just kind of add to the sort of the hometown feel of this team, down-to-earth feel of this team.
And something else I think is interesting is when you take a look back at some of the other World Series championship victory parades. I covered the Red Sox one a couple times, and those are in the middle of cities. So there are people that are coming out of work and coming out of wherever. These fans, they had to specifically go to the parade. So these are diehard fans. These are people who have watched this team, who have loved this team. In fact, I've seen a lot of jerseys out there, and in fact, in just the last day or so, Google saw a spike, a 1,884 spike in the number of searches for Texas Rangers jerseys.
Wow.
In fact, finding a Texas Rangers jersey right now apparently is a little tough. Like the best one I think for Corey Seager is like where you can go on and like put in his name and number. Like you have to specially make it yourself.
Wow, yeah.
So it's about, I think, pride. It's about hope that we saw all season long, and then it's about celebrating this huge victory.
Yeah, Steve and Chip were kind of touching on how, how long this has been for a lot of diehard, long-time Rangers fans. And this is the first, so they'll always remember this win. They'll always remember this parade. And like you were saying, a lot of these kids that are there will remember this even when they're older. Say, hey, I was there for the first one. So kind of a neat opportunity for them.
Stay with us. We are going to be watching. You can see again as the high school kids, the marching bands come on down. We're waiting for the players. As soon as we see them, we'll let you know. Stay with us right here on Fox 4 as we celebrate our world champion Texas Rangers.
also excited.
In the world of baseball, few names demand as much respect.
I'm also excited to be here to work with this team. Now, I know they didn't have the season they had hoped, but I tell you, man, when I look at this team and I look at the core players and the deep system and the vision that CY has, I got excited. I just see tons of potential for next year and years beyond.
To our continuing coverage as we celebrate the victory parade underway for our World Series Texas Rangers. And many of the bands, there are 6 high school bands we know of in Arlington ISD that were asked to participate in this almost 2-mile march, the big old parade. Many of them playing Take Me Out to the Ballpark. Ball game, ballpark.
Ballpark and ball game, you know, ballpark, you can switch it up. Yeah, there is an expected 250,000 people out there in the entertainment district for Arlington. Now, they had parking lots that were originally set up. Those filled up very quickly. Then they extended parking over to Six Flags. That is almost full, if not completely full already. And Dallas Morning News is reporting that Arlington police is having to stop people from parking in the streets and blocking traffic, just trying to find some place to stop and park to get over to see, just to catch a glimpse of this victory parade.
And you can see in some spots, I mean, it's 10, maybe 20 people deep. So there are some areas where you're probably not going to get a good view. So maybe some of those higher, little elevated areas, definitely the spot if you're in that area where you'd want to go. Or better yet, just tune into Fox 4 right now. Those of you that are watching from home, I guarantee you, you've got one of the best views, especially with the helicopter up, as we watch some of these kids, some of these high schoolers marching on through. We are waiting still. We have not, from our cameras on the ground that are all along this parade route, we have not seen the players yet. I was looking up some details about the players. Evan Carter, as we know, youngest player to see action this year, 21 years old. And then you go on all the way up to Max Scherzer, who's 39, the oldest player and the highest paid. But from 21 to 39, it shows the dynamics of this team. They've got it all, and they found a way to mesh as one.
And I know that a lot of people, a lot of those fans, waiting to see the players. And Lauren mentioned we haven't seen them yet, but I believe we have a soundbite of a little bit of their reaction from the big win.
Just kind of David Murphy-like, little gangly.
He's not going to get hit a lot of.
Kind of get the chills. Just crazy how they're here so early just to celebrate with us today. It's a special moment for everybody involved, and so happy the fans could be out there and make it. I'm sure a lot of schools got shut down today. Little holiday to celebrate all this. It'll be pretty special.
Probably on the back of the truck, have a bourbon and warm up a little bit. It's exciting. I mean, first one in Texas, so I'm excited to see how it is rolling through.
Being able to celebrate with the fans, give this back to them, bringing home that the first World Series title to them. It's a happy moment for everybody. So just go out there and enjoy it and soak it all in.
Yeah, so Jordan Montgomery, look for him. He'll be the one with the bourbon.
All righty.
That's what he said there. He's going to be on the back of the truck with the bourbon. This is a party. This is a chance for these players, these fans, just to really soak it all in, as he mentioned, because it's been a long time coming. Finally, a World Series championship.
We've had more than 50 years. A lot of people have been waiting for this, and to finally have it brings a lot of emotion. There's been a lot of emotion that we've seen in some of the fans we've interviewed this morning on Good Day, and just a lot of emotion from these longtime fans. There's another look at the bands as they start to go through. They have their horns and instruments down, so not sure if they're playing. I hear the drums though. Drums are keeping cadence.
Let's listen.
Keeping them on step. Let's listen in. So I shot a Rangers captain there. The mascot for the Rangers, they enjoying the parade as well. Well, what a great opportunity this has been for the 600 Arlington High School band members. There's Rangers captain right there, giving high fives and all kinds of congratulatory stuff to all the fans there. Oh, what a fun time. Then he boards his golf cart, moves on down. Yeah, just these 600 band students that have had this opportunity, and you can see right there as we were showing the band, also had an opportunity for all the supporters and the parents, it looked like, that were kind of marching along with them, getting to kind of partake in this historic moment also.
Yeah, a moment of pride, no doubt. We are still waiting to see the players, and I know that's what all these people have come for, so still waiting to see the players right now. As soon as we spot them, as soon as we spot the big old trophy, we'll let you know. But we are watching as, it's hard to imagine, what did they say, 2 Cowboys games and 3 or 4 Rangers games of people out there lining the streets on this beautiful day in Arlington, Texas, celebrating World Series champions.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll have more on the other side. Stay with us.
The 2023 Texas Rangers World Series parade on
Disperse kicks and fires. He struck it out looking. It's over.
The 2023 Texas Rangers World Series parade on Bally Sports is brought to you by Budweiser, Academy Sports, Jack Daniels, Smoothie King, and Corbell.
Disperse kicks and fires. He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
Welcome back. We are 15 minutes away from seeing your World Series championship. Texas Rangers players, apparently they're going to start boarding the floats, and then they will, I guess there's floats and trucks. So we'll see them shortly. You know, more than 11 million people tuned in to watch the Texas Rangers win the World Series. And now it's time to party, and Captain is there. Throwing out some necklaces, it looks like.
Looks like it. He's got all the party favors there, throwing it to the crowd. Yeah, just an immense undertaking here. This parade, a 2-mile stretch around Arlington's entertainment district, starting off in sort of the backside of Globe Life Field and heading around there on Ballpark Way and AT&T Way and kind of going around Choctaw Stadium, the old ballpark, on the backside of that, and then kind of winding back around toward Globe Life Field again. Now, you saw in that shot, well, actually right there, you see the shot of the stage that is set up there in front of Globe Life Field, and that will be sort of the ending point of this parade. You got the seats there, you got the stage, the big monitors. That's where the players will end. We're going to hear from Bruce Bochy, the manager. We're going to hear from the players. I'm sure Corey Seager.
Yeah, Texas Rangers Hall of Famer Chuck Morgan is going to basically be leading that whole. It's about a 30-minute program, we're being told. We've got Arlington Police out there, Grand Prairie Police, Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, Texas DPS. I mean, there are so many agencies working together to make sure that this is a safe celebration for all.
And they had some opportunities set up for the people there, at least early on, to go over and use some restrooms over at Choctaw Stadium, and also maybe even get some food. Seeing a lot of things posted on X, a lot of people saying, yeah, good luck getting there if you're not already inside the barriers there by Choctaw Stadium. So, you know, as people were kind of filing in early this morning, there may have been some opportunities, but wow, you can just see how thick this crowd is and how difficult it is really for anybody to move anywhere there. They've already got all of the lots that were originally set up for this are filled. Then they had the extra lots at Six Flags. Those are filled. Then they had some people trying to park on the streets.
Right. They told them to move.
No, we cannot park on the streets. So just so many people trying to get down to that area to get a glimpse of this team.
Well, and I think that's what's so unique about Arlington is that you really, if you want to be part of this parade, you got to go there. It's a destination. If you want to be part of it, you got to go. So these are definitely true Rangers fans all out here. I keep going back to what Bruce Bochy said after the win. He says, I got to tell you what, I've seen some things. But what you guys did to do this is truly incredible. And I think the fans echo that too. I think there were moments where all of our stomachs were in knots and thinking, okay, I can't even watch. Or maybe it was like, oh, here we go. We're going to be let down yet again, since, that's how things have gone over the years. But now to see this win, to see the smiles on all of these fans, and for sports, one team to unite all these people. I mean, it really is a magical thing when you think about it.
Well, and I've been here, 25 years. I know when I originally first got here to North Texas, one of the big goals by Arlington officials and even the Texas Rangers was this, what you're seeing. All of these people being able to celebrate the team and kind of come together in one location, and that's kind of what they had originally dreamed about with this entertainment district there, with the Globe Life Park, I guess, originally, the ballpark there, the old one. And it just never materialized until just the last probably 5 or 6 years or so. Things started popping up. You've got the Texas Live.
Now, I go way back. I remember I used to live right down from the ballpark when I was right after I was born.
You remember the old days.
I remember the old ballpark, And I remember being a kid and being so upset when they tore it down. I just think I had so many memories there of eating like ice cream out of the little helmets. I mean, it wasn't like I don't know if I chose the Texas Rangers. I was there as a kid and my parents brought me. So, but I had a lot of memories there. And so to see that ballpark come down was tough. And then they built the new ballpark. It was beautiful. And then they built the other ballpark. It almost set up this whole area. And then the Cowboys coming in. It set up just this sports mecca for something just like this. It's almost like that whole Texas Live and this whole area was built for this moment. Yeah, and they wanted it. I mean, everybody had wanted it to be a tourist destination. They've even got a museum that's in the process of being constructed right now. So, it's sort of all kind of coming together the way that a lot of city officials for the last, even a couple decades really have been hoping for. So, but boy, look at that crowd. I also think it's important to mention, we see everybody decked out in their Rangers gear. There are thousands and thousands of others, like kids who didn't get off school, where the schools decided, everyone, wear your Rangers gear today, and that are tuning in, that are watching this on TV. There's so many people at home that are fans that couldn't make it out there. So many people at work. So while we've got, 300,000, maybe more out there right now, I mean, this is bigger than we can even imagine, and probably bigger than the team even imagined.
All right, I think we're going to take another break, and we'll have more live coverage of the parade when we come back.
They did. So for them to do it, within 3 years of the time he told me that, every time I see him now, I hug him and I tell him, you're a man who's true to his word.
Amazing, Eric. Well, enjoy every minute of today. We're thrilled that you get to experience this.
You too. I'm glad you are too. So happy for you.
Thanks, E. Perfect. Thank you.
The 2023 Texas Rangers World Series Parade on Bally Sports is brought to you by Budweiser. The 2023 Texas Rangers World Series Parade on Bally Sports is brought to you by Budweiser.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the World Series Victory Parade.
Peyton Yeager is down there. She is in the thick of it. She has been talking with fans. Peyton, what have you been hearing so far from all these fans?
Hi. I know we've talked about how they've waited for hours and waited for decades, but they have to wait a little bit longer for the players. The band just went around, the cheerleaders, they played Deep in the Heart of Texas, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. It got the crowd going, but now everyone's kind of antsy waiting for the players. And I have Joe Garza from Mansfield right here. Joe, what does this mean to you?
This means everything. I've been a fan since I was 6 or 7, coming to the game with my grandfather, my dad, everybody, cousins. This is a great day for us.
And Rangers fans really showed up today.
Oh, yes, we did. There's a lot of us here. Let's go, Rangers!
Okay, so we're kind of waiting. Who are you waiting to see?
Corey Seager.
MVP.
Yes, baby, MVP. Actually, all the Rangers, but Corey Seager especially.
We're really excited.
Exactly. Can't wait.
Anything to say to the Rangers fans at home who weren't able to be here?
This will not be the only one. This is only the first one.
Woo! You heard it first from Joe Garza, but we are waiting. We have this straightaway right here on the Six Flags, and we are waiting for them to come around the corner, so we're getting antsy out here. I know everyone's waiting. Back to you guys.
All right, Peyton, so you have a really good spot there. How early did the folks around you get there?
Oh, okay. So last night I worked the night shift, and I heard that there were people already out here last night at dinner time. And then I went home, had the luxury of going to sleep, and then I woke up this morning and we arrived at 6:30, and it was rocking already. People were grilling, there were breakfast tacos, coffee, everyone was sharing, people were playing cornhole, football. It was amazing. You would have not known that it was 6:30 in the morning.
You know, Peyton, it always amazes me at sports and what sports can do for so many, and really just unite everyone and put everyone in such a good mood. We say have a good day on good day. I tell you, when you're talking about the Rangers right now, it's like magically everyone has a good day, right?
Exactly. I mean, I'm working, but this is not really working. We're not working. The kids aren't in school. We're ready to celebrate. This is the best day ever.
What's been the best part about covering the Rangers for you?
Oh, I mean, I moved here 3 years ago, and I just have learned so much, and I love hearing the stories of people that are just been so patient. I love sports. I resonate with my teams. I resonate with the Rangers. I resonate with them. And I love just seeing people cry because I know how much it means. And this just means so much to them. I love it for them. I've spent, how many days at Globe Life? I feel like I've lived there and sat in the stands through the wins and the losses for this postseason. And it's just been great hanging out with them. They are in such a good mood, and they really deserve it.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And I love that this is for the fans. Like, this is for the team to bring the trophy to the fans, for the fans to see, for the fans to cherish. And it'll be interesting to see this 30-minute presentation afterwards, because I'm curious what's going to be said and what this is a moment in Texas sports history, and I can't wait to see what they're going to say and come up with. Have you seen any? You haven't seen any players. I think we're about 5 minutes away from the players. But at your point, all of the bands have come by.
The bands have come by. The cheerleaders came by. They threw some prizes into the audience, but we've got some chants going here and there. They're just everyone. I'm talking to everybody. Who do they want to see? And everyone has their player. So we're ready. We're waiting any moment now.
Yeah,
I just keep looking over my shoulder at this corner.
Speaking about the wait, now that the Rangers have finally won the World Series, we were one of 6 franchises that hadn't won a World Series. So now just 5 left. I'm glad we're off that list.
Boy, no kidding, right? I like what that fan that Peyton talked to said. This is not our last one. Well, this is only our first.
Yes, we have a parade in Arlington, Texas.
And So yeah, I think that's really, I mean, and that's a sentiment really that the management of the team really, hopes to send. But what they spend, I think Chip and Steve were talking about the $500 million middle infield. They've got, these Bruce Bochy, who more than certainly will be a Hall of Famer. He's won his 4th title now, after coming out of retirement, after sitting on the couch, according to one of the comments that we heard earlier. So this is, I think, the hope that this team will stick together and really build on what they've already done.
All right, we're seeing some, looks like some kind of fire truck looking thing there. Some vehicles coming out, unclear yet who is in those vehicles. I'm assuming they're going to probably honor some of the Texas Rangers staff, kind of make them part of this. We are continuing to watch. As soon as we get sight of some of the players, we'll let you know. Arlington Fire Department, I'm guessing, jumping in.
There you go with the ladder truck.
Being part of this as well. Good day. I mean, good day. That's not really good. It is a good day.
It's a good day.
We'll be right back with our continuing coverage of the World Series Champions Victory Parade.
When the champagne popped in the clubhouse, and just watching those guys hold the World Series trophy and celebrate together, there's no sweeter feeling for me professionally, and just seeing these guys realize their dreams, it's just I'm so thankful to be a part of this.
You made it a point, both when we won the American League Championship and then won the World Series, to mention John Daniels. You have his kids here today. How important was that to you that JD gets his love?
Oh, JD's fingerprints are all over this organization, and none of us are here without him. And so to honor him and have him be a part of this, have his children be a part of this, I mean, that's all they've known in their lives, and they certainly deserve this as much as anybody. And I'm so happy that they're here celebrating an organization that has really had a huge impact on their lives.
How long do you allow yourself to enjoy, relish in this moment before you start moving on to 2024?
Well, Monday I'll be back in Phoenix for the general managers meeting, so back to work. And but we'll continue to enjoy this all winter. But we do have work to do, and that's the nature of these things. You play deep into the season, and you have to turn the page quickly. But nonetheless, we're going to enjoy today, and we'll worry about tomorrow when it gets here.
One more thing I did want to ask you, and I asked the players this a lot, like, they may not have been here for long, but like for those people who've been following this team for so long and been fans and have waited so incredibly long to be on the team that finally, broke through and won a World Series. What is that like for you? And you have a deeper appreciation for that because you grew up here. You know this team's story.
Yeah, Emily, it's one of the reasons I came back here is that I knew this team had never won a World Series before, and to be part of the first group to ever do that is extremely special. And that's, I think, for these players, a lot of them, they wanted that challenge. They wanted to be part of something special, a part of history. They wanted to be the first to ever do something in the history of this franchise, and they did it. And it's just the coolest thing in the world to see that come together and watch these guys go out and make that happen, and the determination of each and every one of them. These guys never quit, and now they're the first, and they will forever be remembered as the greatest Texas Rangers team, unless somebody comes along and passes us.
Okay, I lied. One more. And I've said this a number of times when people ask me, all the acquisitions, you got Marcus and Corey and Nathan and Jacob and trade deadlines, and is Bruce Bochy your greatest prize?
For me personally, he is in a lot of ways. He's a great mentor, a great friend, somebody I learn from every day, and he keeps me balanced, and I just enjoy working with him.
This Fox 4 Sports Special is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Welcome back. We are providing you with live coverage of the championship parade for your World Series champion Texas Rangers. The parade is underway, and there are an estimated 250,000 people lining the streets around the entertainment district there in Arlington, which basically consists of Globe Life Field, Choctaw Stadium, got AT&T Stadium there right on the edge of this parade route as well. Everybody just kind of lining the streets there. You've got, I think, it's all the players' support staff was there for a brief moment there on Sky 4, but you can just see how thick. Oh, and they're doing the wave there. What do you know? How thick this crowd is. Just people packed in as deep as they can. Parking is full, literally full, filled up all the way to Six Flags. And so that just sort of is a good explanation or a good example, I guess, of just how many people are out there. They've been lining up, as we've been talking about, since this morning, or actually since last night.
Right.
They've been lining up and trying to get a spot. We've seen the bands go by. And that's
we
been
mentioned
pretty
high
neat.
school. I should also shout out to UTA marching band as well. They were part of that too. And yeah, so what we're seeing right now is some vehicles coming out. You can see that they're filled with people when we go to those shots. And that's staff. That's Texas Rangers staff. We've got the team. You've got the coaches. It takes so many people to actually make a team. So these are some of the people that maybe take care of the fields or take care of the whole stadium itself. So they definitely are trying to include everyone who is part of the Texas Rangers organization.
Yeah, this is just really, really exciting. Of course, we're hearing all these stories from a lot of these fans. Some of them older. You know, you get people in their 40s, 50s, 60s that have just seen these Texas Rangers go through the low points and the high points. And boy, I even remember covering back in 2010 and 2011 the World Series runs that they had then, and just how disappointed people were that they couldn't secure the win in the World Series. A lot of folks wondering, would it ever happen again? And do we have some players here on the back of these vehicles? Or are we still looking at the maybe Arlington City officials, or still looking at some of the support staff? These might be the players there. It's hard to tell when they sort of go by so quickly, but Chris Young, general manager there in the parade route.
A Texas guy, by the way.
And these floats, by the way, we're kind of losing our signal there. These floats were built yesterday in Arlington, all 12 of them, all ready to be kind of carrying all these people, just the players, the support staff, Arlington officials, just all kinds of folks participating in this.
Yeah, Chris Young, you saw there, a Dallas native, went to Highland Park, Rangers general manager, a role he assumed, I mean, not that long ago, in August of 2022. So he was actually a pitcher in the big leagues, started his career with the Rangers. So,
yeah.
And now to have him in this role as general manager really has just been huge. And not only is he celebrating with the team, but, you know, he's a local dude, so it's nice to see that.
Yeah, and you mentioned there were several other local players who, boy, it's just kind of really neat to hear their story about how they grew up as a kid going to Rangers games, learning the game of baseball.
One of them. Chris Young was one of them.
Yeah, and just rooting for the team, and then, you know, kind of getting good at baseball through high school, through college, and then they get to that point, you know, where they're actually playing for the Rangers. Just a really neat full circle moment. There's some Hall of Fame Ranger players there. We can't see from here. I don't know if Pudge Rodriguez is on that float there. Not sure if Nolan Ryan is a part of the parade here. Yeah, but just a really neat showing from this whole organization. And, you know, a lot of these fans are kind of wanting to see that part of history as well. Kind of how the team began and all the people that, you know, the old players that kind of established the fan base that they get to kind of enjoy today.
You know, and you think about these players who have made the Texas Rangers, I mean, that we've cheered for. Yeah, you think about Nolan Ryan. You think about how hard he's trying to, you know, get a win, get a World Series win for this team, but wasn't able to. So to allow them to be part of this and to celebrate their victories, it really is just a joy to see. You're seeing a lot of the different cities here and their mayors and city
Arlington City Council members there in that fire truck. Wow, look how deep that crowd goes. Just amazing how many people poured out to this entertainment district here. The parade route is 2 miles. It started at the backside, the south side really, of Globe Life Field, and then went, I think, to the west, and then went north up toward Choctaw Stadium, circled around Choctaw Stadium, and then back toward Globe Life Field. There have been some breaks, so they started off with the bands, and we went out to Peyton earlier, and there was sort of a break in the action. So it's taken them a while to get along the route there. You see the parade route on your screen as it is mapped out. There on the right, they had some of those parking lots that were even set up for people to sit and watch and look at monitors of the parade because they had assumed that there were probably some locations where people would gather where they would not even be able to catch a glimpse of a lot of the action.
I've seen some photos on social media where there's people even on the rooftops of homes nearby. Like they're trying to get as high as they can just so they can catch a glimpse of this team. So, you know, some of those people trying to, you know, kind of make their elbows a little wider, get you know, their little
some
area
room,
for standing room. Yeah.
And of course, we talked about this morning. There are several school districts that canceled classes just in order to, well, a lot of it was let's allow our staff and kids to enjoy the parade or head out there, but the other part of it was, especially for the Arlington ISD schools, the logistics of holding this parade in that area and the traffic in and out of the central part of Arlington really would have negated any school progress of getting buses in and out and parents in and out of some of the surrounding schools there. So it was more of a logistical concern as well to cancel classes.
And they're being tough. I will tell you, we had crews in different areas, and they've had to back up in certain spots. They've been kicked down to certain spots. So like they are being very, very tight with security, being extra careful. And I mean, they've got miles of these, you know, barriers that they've set up. So it's definitely a lot went into this, and there's a lot being done behind the scenes that we don't know about that they're making sure that this is safe.
Yeah.
And trying to keep everything as joyous as it can be at this moment. So what you're seeing here, we've got some city councilmen. This is where we saw the city councilmen. We saw the mayor.
Mayor Jim Ross right there in that Toyota Tundra.
Yeah.
Waving to everybody.
Well, he's been busy the last couple of days.
He has been busy, yeah. And you know that they've been planning this. I mean, secretly, quietly, you know, not trying to jinx anyone. Tom Grieve, I'm being told, is amongst the front and center waving on that float. Chuck Morgan is there. Michael Young is there among the folks on that parade. Michael Young, just working for the Rangers right now, and he was, of course, a part of the 2010, you said Ian Kinsler? Ian Kinsler also a member of that 2010, 2011 team that really put together a great run, made it to the World Series, but couldn't get that win. And, you know, Michael Young had talked about, even on Good Day, he talked about just how special that team was, but just how excited he is for this team.
Yeah, you saw Mike Maddox there, and pitching coach, and I think that was one of the moments after the World Series. He was so emotional. He just couldn't even put into words how excited he was.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, you know, felt those tears and that emotion. And to see it from the pitching coach, you know, I think as a pitching coach, that's a tough guy. You know, he just showed in his eyes and from his heart how emotional it was and how much that moment meant to him and meant to so many on that team.
All right, we are kind of watching these floats as they come around. And again, they're filled with some city officials. We've got former Rangers players. We've got Hall of Fame players. There's Maddox, the pitching coach, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Again, some of these former players that were part of these teams that did pretty well.
And what we're seeing, and which I think is interesting, and it'll be interesting to see on social media after this now that, you know, we're in this age, but a lot of the players, you're going to see them with their phones, like recording all this, because they don't want to, you know, forget about it, but they also want to share from their point of view what they're seeing as they greet all of these fans. So that's going to be something interesting as we follow up on this and as we watch how the players themselves react to this moment of celebration and their time with the fans out there right now. And you think about all the people, I mean, even just the ones we've listed so far, to get all of them in the same place at the same time for this moment, like, that's spectacular, huh?
Yeah, like I say, you know, the Rangers had all of those playoff series that they were in lasted, what, 2 or 3 weeks? And you know that the planning was already underway. There was a what if, well, you know, let's do this and let's try this. If it happens. Just so many times they were, you know, so hopeful, but, you know, because we weren't even really mentioning it a lot because we didn't want to jinx anything either. But, yeah, you're right. To plan the logistics of this entire thing just took a lot of people, a lot of effort. There you go. A lot of the, let's see if we can see who's on that float there. Is that the one with Michael Young? I guess that's not the one. It's not the one we saw earlier then as well. There's some there's a ladder truck there participating in it as well. All right, well, we're going to have much more for you on this parade. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back. Championship Celebration Parade in Arlington for your Texas Rangers. Oh, there's so many people, so much excitement. You know, just to let the viewers know, we had attempted to try to get some other live shots from some of our crews. It's literally so loud in some of these places that they can't even hear us talk to them in their ears. So there's so much excitement in that crowd. And you can kind of hear it in the background there. That's just so many people yelling and screaming and cheering. You know, we've seen the bands go by. We've seen the floats with Arlington City leaders. We've seen the floats with some former players and some Hall of Fame Rangers players as well. And we're kind of waiting for the trucks or the floats that have the current Rangers players, the World Series champions there.
That's
Will Venable? Yeah.
Yes, Rangers coach Will Venable there, one of the pitching coaches there. So it seems like they've kind of spread out the pitching coaches as they should. They should have their own, because that's what got us where we are. So what you're watching right there is the baseball operations people. So we've got cameras set up all along the route. So we're just kind of hunting and pecking, if you will, to figure out
between them all.
what the best shots are, so that we can show you viewers at home what it is that we're seeing and who's on what floats.
Well, they've really spread this out pretty well, kind of allowing the fans to see one float, kind of celebrate with that float along the way, and then we get a break, and then there's another one that comes by. So hitting coach Tim Hires is in that vehicle there. Yeah, just like you mentioned, just a lot of the behind-the-scenes coaches really get a lot of props for this team. You know, so many years they got so close, and you know, you always hear, well, it's the pitching. We just need better pitching. And so finally the Rangers got the pitching they needed, and boy, it certainly did well for them, and they were able to get really far very quickly on the backs of a lot of Nathan Eovaldi, just to name a few there. Boy, these floats, it's just amazing how many people are out there. You can see just how thick the crowd is. And the base coaches there.
Yeah, that's Corey Ragsdale, who was a baseball player at one time, and played, and now first base coach. I love when they've played the game. I feel like that gives them a whole new perspective on, you know, if they played the game and now they're coaching, and to be part of the World Series.
Yeah, we saw one of those floats with Michael Young earlier, and he was when I asked him about the claw and antlers thing that they had back in 2010 and 2011. You know, they got the fans into the team. Was sort of this little, you know, niche thing that they did when they got on base, claws and the antlers, that kind of thing. And I asked him, what is it about this current team that really made them gel? And he said, well, they don't really have, you know, anything like the claw and antlers, but this is just a really tight-knit group of guys that have really looked to each other to kind of find that fight inside them to muscle through, you know, this season. And boy, they just really have gelled as a team. They've become friends. They've just really, you know, and it shows on the field. It shows when they, you know, as they're playing, you can kind of just tell they're a cohesive group, and they like each other, like playing with each other. So on the field, and it's just, really, really special. I think this is one of those floats with Arlington City officials, I believe, maybe? Or is this the Hall of Famers? Yeah, it's hard to tell there with looking for the sign on the float or something.
Look at all those people. I mean, that's a lot of people who are out there right now. Goodness.
And I don't know if there are still people trying to get there or even get close to that parade route. But at this point, might as well forget about it. They had parking filled up hours and hours ago. They extended parking out to Six Flags. Co-owner Bob Simpson, I remember him doing some interviews after the 2011 loss, and you know, a lot of people asked him, so what are you going to do? How are you going to change the team? And he promised, we're going to invest. We're going to invest in this team. We're going to invest in the fans. And boy, they did.
And he knows how to invest. He is was the co-founder of XTO Energy, by the way. So
he has the means.
He has the means. He knew how to do it, and sure enough, he was able to pull off this winning team. So nice to see. It's taken everyone from the top all the way down to the bottom to make this team happen. I feel like I need a flag or like something to wave.
I know, right?
As we're watching along, you can see some of them have been throwing out. They've been tossing out. I think they had some kind of necklaces or something, or candy. It seemed like they were definitely throwing stuff at the crowds, but all the crowds being kept back. I mean, there's officers all along the route, and you know, these players, and definitely going to be a safe distance from the fans.
Yeah, Mike Maddox, pitching coach, former pitching coach.
Correct.
Current pitching coach.
Yeah, he was the one that was crying.
Yeah, riling up the crowd there from the truck.
Yeah, he played in Major League Baseball, 9 teams over 15 seasons, so he definitely knows. I mean, goodness, the list of the teams he played for, it's Phillies, Dodgers, Padres, Mets, Pirates, Red Sox, Mariners, Montreal, Astros.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's been around, so he definitely knows a thing or two about baseball, if you will. So I'm glad to see that he's getting a World Series ring.
Yeah, kind of neat how they were able to bring some of these guys that have had so much experience to the team and kind of show these young guys, here's how it works. Here's how we do it. All right, we're going to be back. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more parade coverage after this.
Coach, congratulations. The first World Series title in franchise history. 62 years in the making. What have the last 36 hours been like for you?
You know what? I'm just trying to just take it all in and just calm myself and just understand what just happened. It's been a great experience, and we've been grinding for the last, 2 or 3 weeks, and we had to win all these games on the road. It's been tough, but it's been so much fun at the same time. We know we had a great team, and just to watch our players go out and perform as they have, and to give us a chance to achieve this, it's been such a blast. So I'm just thankful for the fan base and thankful for God for giving me the opportunity to just be here.
You mentioned all those road games, 11-0 on the road in the postseason. That set an MLB record. How did you guys go on the road and stay so composed throughout October and November?
Well, I think it's just that, all year when our backs were against the wall, the team responded, and I think we didn't have a choice. We went to Tampa and we had to win there. There were 3 road games and we had to win 2 out of 3, so we didn't have a choice but to play well on the road.
Let's go!
It's a new feeling for me. This is number 1 for me. I'm just excited to see so much, support from everybody, and they stuck with us. Obviously, last year was tough, and they stuck with us, and we continued to work as hard as we possibly could to be at this point.
That is Marcus Semien. He gets the Perfect Attendance Award. He had 185 hits, 162 games played. Yes, he did not miss a single game all season. Very, very impressive. He's also paid really well. He actually had a massive contract signed with the Rangers before the 2022 season. But boy, we're glad to have him, that's for sure.
Will Venable is on the back of that truck there. Just one of the several former players that we're seeing here, as well as the coaching staff, the support staff of the Rangers, all part of this parade. And Bobby Wilson, the Rangers catching coach, also a former player. They're part of the parade as well. We're kind of seeing, at least from Sky 4, that the parade has made its way, or at least some of these trucks have made their way around the backside of the old ballpark, Choctaw Stadium. And so they then will wind around and then head back south, back toward Globe Life Field. So
yeah, we mentioned Will Venable. He actually turned down a big manager opening with the New York Mets to stay with the Texas Rangers. He believes so much in the team that he didn't want to leave.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
All right, so we mentioned that this will end, the parade will end there at Globe Life Field. And in the plaza there, right in the center of it, right in the thick of things, Steve Eager, Sam Gannon, and Chip. Hey, guys.
Hey, we are happy to see players in the trucks and coaches and moving down the parade line. We've been waiting a long time, as you have, for them to get here.
Right.
I'm not really sure what the plan is. They're going to get out and walk a lap? Is that what's going to happen? And then
I am hopeful, and I think that's what all of these fans that are just pressed up against the front row are hoping as well, that they might be able to give a high five to a Corey Seager or a Marcus Simeon. I'm kind of thinking I want to do the same thing. Just got to reach out myself.
An estimated 250,000 plus probably, but it's amazing to see the way the fans have packed the area as well. And again, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. But this is what it's all about, especially for the players. And guys, we didn't really get to talk about Marcus Simeon too much, but talk about one of the leaders.
Tony Beasley right there. Coach Tony Beasley.
Cool. We talked to him after the game as well, guys.
Yes,
and he talked about, I asked him, you know, the ups and downs, the heartache throughout the years. Does that make this playoff run that much sweeter? Does that make this first World Series title that much sweeter? He's like, absolutely. The way these guys bounced back, persevered, you've heard it a lot in relation to this year's Rangers team, but resilience is one of the main mantras. Go and take it. They took it.
Yeah.
and they took it in an unprecedented fashion.
Absolutely. And going back to what you're talking about with Marcus Simeon, Marcus Simeon is also that on-field presence of resilience. When he signed that 7-year contract back in 2022, nobody started off colder on a big contract than Marcus Simeon. And you could tell he was pressing. He wanted to impress. He wanted to be able to show he's worth what we had invested in him. He did have a better second half of 2022, but in that offseason and into 2023, he really did take it to the next level, and he played all 162 games, solid source. So right now you're looking at Matt Bush, Corey Bradford,
the lefty.
Corey,
he got some good innings in the
Corey definitely is showing that he's going to be somebody that they'll count on in the future. He is from Aledo, as you know, and as I've heard here on Fox 4 a lot. And the whole town was going nuts for him yesterday. He was able to take some time and be with those fans, and now here he is with the group at large here with us in Arlington. And Bradford had a really, really big moment in the playoff series for us to help in securing some of those playoff wins early on.
He went some innings. I think in Baltimore he won a couple of really good innings.
He did. Had a great stint there.
And you guys are talking, I just want to talk about Simeon and go back for 1 second.
Yeah. Sure.
The guy is, Corey Seager is probably the face of the franchise. But that guy, Simeon, is the man.
Yeah. And
he's just a man among
162 games. Don't take me out. Leave me in this leadoff spot.
He's an example. He does interviews after the game if he hasn't played well, or if he has. He's just a great representative of the organization, and he is a man.
This offense, too, guys, we've known that the Rangers bats, they can score a lot of runs, they can hit a lot of home runs, but I've always said, especially throughout this playoff run, that your best guys need to be able to deliver in the biggest moments. And Marcus Simeon is a guy who struggled predominantly through these playoffs until the final couple games of this series. And when the moment was the biggest, he stepped up, hit that 2-run shot in the 9th inning to blow things over. And he talked, too, about how after that win that you know, he was in his head a little bit too much, overthinking, getting away from the things that he normally was doing.
The at-bat before, when he slapped the opposite field single the other way to right center, there was a part of me that went, uh-oh. He is now in a better place with his swing.
Yes.
And sure enough, that next at-bat in the ninth, he launches one.
And a lot of money was spent on Seager and Simeon, $500 million. After the 2021 season, they went out and got these two all-star middle fielders, and it's worked out quite well in their favor.
I don't know what the dollar value is of a World Series championship, but I mean, I think everybody's saying it's worth it right now, probably. And there's going to be more. Already money well spent, just one championship.
And for people saying that the Rangers bought a championship, well, in this day and age, you have to spend money to be able to win. Across the league.
And I get that too, and I agree. The thing that's really amazing is the fact that not only do they have and have paid for some players that are definitely impact players, but look at all the young players that they have control over for the next few years that are going to be key cogs as well. And it's a great mix. I think it has to be a mix, not just one or the other.
Grown players. It is windy, in case you can't tell.
Yeah,
it's kind of breezy out here. Trying to look and see who's up next. Get a wide shot right now.
But this is what these guys live for. I mean, this is now their moment.
They love this. It's fun. It's fun to interact with the fans, and the fans clearly are loving it. I just think it's great. It's great for the area. It's great for the game of baseball here. I like seeing all the little kids. Baseball isn't the most popular young sport anymore. Soccer is, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
I like baseball being a popular sport. Get young kids playing. It's just fun. But so much
you're kind of
prejudiced because I play.
Right, exactly.
Like baseball with 5 or 2 C's.
Yeah,
You're familiar with it.
I totally get that. Trying to get a good feel for some of these close-ups, and our monitor's a little tiny, so we're trying to figure out what you guys are looking at home.
Cody Bradford.
Okay, so
yeah, we just talked about Cody Bradford.
You know, Brock Burke is a player. So we already talked about Cody a little bit. Brock Burke is another young player that we still have some control over. Last year, he actually had a sensational year on what wasn't a great team. This year, he ended up struggling. I don't think you just close the book immediately on a guy like him in the bullpen. And I'm not so sure if going into the offseason, he doesn't become somebody that could end up being a candidate for a 5-starter role because of how he delivers the ball.
Maybe you know this. Is this a 40-man roster parade?
It has to be a 40-man roster parade plus all coaches and everything else. Right, Brock Burke was not on the 27-man roster. The active roster. They're going into the playoffs, but then was activated and was the person that you saw briefly in the 9-1 loss in the place of Scherzer. But again, I think he's going to be able to be someone that could find it once again and play a role once again in this year, in the years to come. I think the most interesting person that we've seen recently go through here in the pickup trucks is one Matt Bush, who didn't throw one pitch in one inning for us in the regular season. He started off the year in Milwaukee, but of course has a big track record with the Rangers.
Yes, he does. Got a big break with them, got a real chance with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then was traded, and then now he has a chance to be back, and he just never did pitch with us, but he was, again, on the 40-man still again, and who knows what his future is. But I'm happy for him because he was a big part of our team back in 2016 when we made that playoff run, but just got eliminated in the first round.
You know, Mike, Busey and I were talking about this on Wednesday night. We talk about Bruce Bochy. In retirement for 3 years, he was the coach of his grandkids' T-ball team. You know, he decided to come out of retirement in his first year back. He wins a World Series title, and he was asked if he thought that he would be in this position, and he thought that they would be very competitive, but I don't know that he thought that they would be in this position to win. And Mike was even saying, does Bochy retire? Do you think there's a chance that he retires? I think he's coming back for sure.
I think so too.
He's got a good thing going here. This team is going to be really good next season.
Well, he said, I don't know if you saw it, one of the post-game interviews that we aired, and I was sitting on the set, he said, I had heard them asking, well, you know, you're doing this. And he said he was coaching the French World WBC team, World Baseball Classic. And he was over there in France, and he was in a dugout, and he said, I'm having fun. I miss this.
Yeah.
Once that thought about, I miss that.
And if I was Bruce Bochy, I would be wanting to coach a guy like who we're looking at right now.
Number 32, Evan Carter.
The 21-year-old just
barely 21.
Barely.
Yeah, barely 21. Makes his major league debut in September and makes a huge impact in this postseason run for the Rangers, and never flinched.
Loved his plate discipline up there. It doesn't matter who's out there on the mound.
Right. That is something to be.
He has a natural feel for that, and that's the biggest thing that a coaching staff looks at a player is what is he going to do? What's his strikeout rate going to be? He's going to be one of those rare players that I think is going to do really well for a long time.
And it appeared to me, and this is the scary kind of hitter, is he didn't mind taking a strike that he wasn't really in love with, right? It's like he didn't mind being 1 and 2 or 2 and 2. It did not matter. He was okay to hit with 2 strikes.
Yep.
And
So the next person we're looking at here in the form of Will Smith. Will Smith is the guy that there's a little part of me that thinks, you know what, we need to have him on the team next year. And you know why?
Why?
Because he's been on 3 straight World Championship teams. How crazy is that?
It really is.
The Braves, the Astros, and us here in the last 3 years, he's been on each one of those teams that have gone on to win the World Series title. So he's got some kind of mojo going, right? He was a major part of the early season for us, just simply because Leclerc, again, he had some health issues coming out of spring break. He lost his stopper role almost immediately, and the veteran stepped in. And though he doesn't have electric stuff, with his guile and the number of pitches he throws, he was able to pick up a lot of saves and close out a number of games that we might have lost otherwise. So again, his contributions were way on the front end, but really important.
Josh Smith.
Josh Smith, another one of those guys that had a lot of contributions early in the season. He was included on the postseason roster, but didn't really play. And some people wondered why was he kept versus Ezekiel Duran, who was not on that final playoff roster. And I think it's just simply because of his flexibility, being able to play second, short, third, and all of the outfield positions in a pinch.
John Gray, the Oklahoma
relief appearance he had. Oh, my God.
And he hadn't been in that position. Before that night, he had been in that position one other time.
I think he's always been a starter, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I think after this postseason, he is really in a good spot to be high in the rotation, depending how that rotation plays out. I mean, when he was in that relief game, when he came in.
Yes.
I mean, 98, 99,
Steady.
some nasty stuff, and just
to be able to take 98, put it right at the top of the strike zone, and keep consistently putting it there, and then to be able to throw that secondary pitch that's going to go off that plane straight down, he was unhittable.
You might not see that starting, because he knows he's in a relief role. He knows I'm going to go 3.
Yeah,
I'm going to go 2 or 3.
He was
starting. He's thinking I might go 8. I can't just bust out full effort, max effort on the first pitch, but still high velocity guy.
Yeah, really like what he brings to the table. He was one of the top 5 picks in his year of draft eligibility, and for us to get him from the Colorado Rockies as one of the building blocks, I thought was important, and he has definitely lived up to being that consistent 3-4 starter with that possibility of becoming a 2. And it could be that in the future. We'll see.
I assume if he's like every other pitcher who pitched in Colorado, he was happy to leave.
Yeah.
Mile high.
I would think so. I would not relish that.
Chris Stratton, interesting reliever.
Right. Picked up
successes, had some not successes.
Right, picked up with Jordan Montgomery in that late trade with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, we got to roll this Chapman.
And there's
the one that makes all Rangers fans
the
a little
Chapman
bit nervous.
experience. You know, the Rangers saw something in him, though, that made them feel like it was worthy to go out and get him before anybody else started to make moves. They did give up, and they did give up something in Cole Reagans, and Reagans could end up being a guy that becomes a star for the Royals. Yeah. But when you look at it right now, You got Chapman. He was used strategically and was helpful in getting to this point. And we got the World Series title. So I would say even if Reagans becomes an all-world pitcher, it was probably worth it.
Let me speak for the fan community, and I'm a player. I'm going to speak for the fan community.
Okay.
The fans, every time he's coming in,
Exactly what they did. Oh, no.
It is true. He is almost like the modern-day Mitch Williams of my childhood.
What are we going to get today?
Exactly right. Electric, but who knows, right? And I'm kind of glad in retrospect that we never used him in any of the games in Houston. Just saying. That was smart.
Well, the final game that won the World Series, he threw to one hitter, right, or two, walked somebody, got an out, and then walked somebody, and he was out.
Right.
They don't want to mess around.
Yeah, I agree.
Max Scherzer right there.
Okay.
He wins his second ring, and, you know, it's a shame to see him go down in Game 3 with those back spasms for sure. I guess, you know, you just wonder, he's had an historic career, obviously.
He's going to be 39 next year.
Right, and is under contract. We have his contract, so he will be a Ranger next year.
You just hope that, you know, that injury bug doesn't keep biting him back.
I would say that it always will be a possibility for somebody his age, so you're going to need to watch his innings. That's going to be hard for a Bulldog like him to accept. But I think if we're going to make another postseason run, and right now in his career, it's all about the rings. So I think he'll listen a little bit more, take care of his body, and do what they ask him to do. And maybe it is sometimes 6-7 days between starts just to give him the proper rest.
Well, what we all learned, I think this year particularly, you need all the quality starting pitchers you can get. And we're going to lose some to injury. It's going to happen.
Yep.
And we had by the end of the season, you can go down all the starting pitchers that ever started for Texas here. An embarrassment of riches, really. You know, from DeGrom getting hurt in the beginning to, I mean, just
6 starts.
A lot of arms.
And then he had to have Tommy John surgery. Again, we've talked about this before.
I didn't realize that is Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah. This franchise has undergone a lot of injuries, a lot of major injuries that they've had to bounce back from. DeGrom, one of those guys.
Yeah, and looking ahead, I know that people are already talking about can we repeat, because you just do that, right? When you look at a guy like DeGrom coming off of the Tommy John surgery again, I think you have to look back to what the Mets did when he was coming off the first Tommy John surgery and think about putting him in the bullpen when he comes back. And would that not be electric with him being your stopper come down the stretch, or just have a tandem stopper thing? Lefty-righty with Leclerc. And there's the stopper right now who just, again, we mentioned it earlier in our coverage about how Leclerc went into Bochy's office in September and said, hey, I'm finally at 100%, and he sure showed it in the stretch.
Can I tell you something how really I've changed from player to fan? I get a kick out of, we try to read their faces. Right? You look at Leclerc out there, and he's got I look at his face, I can't get anything. It's like,
he's
is he
total
scared?
baby face,
is
right?
he baby?
No,
Is he you know, it's like, I get nothing. I can't figure it out. He's not like going tough guy, batting,
but he can bring it. And at 100%, he's really special.
He just won save in this postseason. He did his job. That's for sure.
There's Josh Spores. Spores, again, had some times during the season where he was electric, and then he'd have times where he would get lit up. But in the stretch run and down through the playoffs, Bochy counted on him to get them from the 7th to the 8th inning, and he did his job every single time.
The difference between minor league and major league baseball is if you are wild over the middle, you are going to get crushed. You know, if your pitch needs to be on the corner or inside, outside, or you need it, and you're wild instead right down the middle. See you. And I thought that's what he struggled with for a time.
Yeah, and occasionally velocity issues, and I wonder about potentially overuse at times. That did cost him, and cost him his confidence sometimes. And he had some stretches on the DL where he had to go and kind of regroup, reorganize. But wow, what a great stretch run he had. Important innings down the stretch to secure the championship.
There was a lot of good pitching. When I was playing, it didn't matter if they were wild down the middle.
Are you saying that you were the Austin Hedges on your team? Is that what you're saying?
In professional baseball, I don't think I ever batted above 236.
The pitching did its job. I mean, you know, you talk about all the money that Chris Young, Ray Davis put into pitching and turn things around. Jordan Montgomery, a huge piece of this team's success in the postseason.
Right.
Great pickup.
Going to be a free agent. He is not somebody that is overpowering. You look at what the New York Yankees said about him a couple years ago. We don't want to build a future on him because we think he doesn't have the moxie, the blow-away pitch, the velocity that's going to get people out. And that's not what baseball always is about. It's about getting
the right
people to
spin,
hit, yeah,
the right location.
get the ball in the ground early in counts, getting 6-7 innings. And Montgomery, I think, is somebody that the Rangers do value, and that's why they went and got him. And then for him to feel like, hey, this might be a home for me, I really do feel like, I know he's a free agent here in the offseason, I feel like we have a chance of getting him to stay around.
He's a guy he's definitely a guy who can get guys missing out of his own low.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Slider, break the ball down low.
No doubt about it. Here's a guy that was thrust into the spotlight at a really young age and struggled. And everybody that is in Texas Rangers Nation at one time or another said, oh, he's going to be another washout. Congratulations to him for sticking it out and figuring it out this year, right, Sam? He had a great season.
He did, no doubt about it. And again, I think that's what's been so cool to see is all of these guys have endured their own, you know, their own sense of adversity and things like that. So to see them come through the other side, it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember a terrific catch in center field. Was it against Houston? I'll climb that wall.
It turned out to be a losing effort, but still.
It was great. Yeah, it would have been more memorable if it hung in that game. But I think when you have an outfielder with speed like that, I mean, now they have Carter too. There aren't many balls that are going to fall.
No. And unlike the team that we were playing there, the Diamondbacks, our outfielders actually have arms too.
Nathaniel Lowe, first baseman, he had quite the turnaround in a year's time. I'm so happy for him because if you don't know his personal story, his mom is battling cancer right now, and you know, our thoughts and prayers with her.
Absolutely.
And he talked about it before the World Series began, that she was nervous for him, but that she was pulling for him, and it's been great to see. Gold Glove finals, by the way.
You talk about body language, Steve. The body language on him early in the playoffs, the weight of his mother's condition was definitely having an impact on him, and I feel like that's why he was kind of behind the fastball some.
Yes, and I remember, we're going to go to Mitch Garver, but I remember he had a home run. Do you remember? And he clapped like finally.
Yeah, I'm finally in that rhythm.
Absolutely. You can speak on this too, when you finally have that breakthrough. It probably does something for you mentally through your game.
Yes, when you have that breakthrough. No, yes. Well, professionally, you gotta put the good games behind you and the bad games. There's always another one the next night. You can go 0 for 4 or 3 for 4.
That was Mitch Garver that we were looking at there for just a minute. Mitch Garver, again, has had some injury issues while with the Rangers. But
he had a surprising number of home runs.
When he's healthy, man, he can hit La Ballosa, right?
Big hit in Game 5 on one thing.
That grand, yeah, absolutely.
Big game Nate.
What more can you say about him?
Rivaldo, what a stud.
And again, I love to hear him talk post-game just about why he came to this Rangers club, because Chris Young sold him well on it. Not only are we going to be able to win, but we're going to be able to win soon. And you saw the investments that were made in the pitching and all those kinds of things just coming together.
He signed a 2-year contract with a player option for the 3rd year. I'm thinking he's going to take that 3rd year if we can continue to play like we're playing. I don't know about you guys, but I think he loves playing here in his home state.
5-0 in this postseason, an incredible feat.
Yeah, Major League record. Awesome.
That's fun. Also, you talked about interviews. He's a contemplative guy. You know, he
very thoughtful.
Thinks about it, what he's going to say, and he is thoughtful. He's kind of like Seager, like Simeon. He's the same way. You know, it's a lot of smart, well-reasoned guys thinking about the game. It's like become a thinking man's sport, at least on this roster.
And it's funny because I think sometimes the outside perception of baseball guys is they're not always the most open, you know, but again, this clubhouse just has a unique mix of personalities that all mesh really well. Some really stand-up guys.
And this personality here shines more than any other.
Heart and soul of this Texas Rangers team. And you feel for him the way he got injured in Game 3 because you wanted to see more
really
from him, right?
That's a freak thing. I don't know if I've ever seen that on a
oblique strain, moderate oblique strain.
I truly get emotional when I think about a guy like him. Remember, he was a defector from Cuba. Later in his career, he was in his like 23 range before he was able to get out.
Talk about not ever giving up and keep
And
pushing forward.
you know, the Cardinals gave up on him. The Rangers had him in their minor league system, gave up on him, gave him his waivers, but then nobody took him, so they decided to take him back, and that was when he took advantage of an opportunity due to injuries and started to show his mettle at the professional level. And wow, what a great opportunity for him to be able to show us how great he is.
It's my understanding he has an interesting contract going forward. You know, I thought, boy, next year he's going to get paid, but he's kind of got some.
He has a lot of control left.
They have
the
him for a lot of control.
I do hope that they do the right thing for him because I want him to have long-term security.
He's worth more than $600 or $700.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
That Game 1 walk-off was just incredible. Already cemented that legendary moment for him. And again, that when he spoke to the team after he was injured, you could tell how much the guys really appreciated showing that vulnerability, being emotional, and they found a way to get it done for him.
You like Jonah Heim? I
do love Jonah Heim.
He's historically a really good catcher, and I like really good catchers. Throws the ball really well. But man, he started ripping this year, and his switch hitter helps him, and he's done well.
In the 2022 spring training, there was basically a face-off between Trevino and Heim as to who they were going to then build on to maybe invest in the future. They decided on Heim. I think it was because he's a switch hitter. I think that was the main reason. Trade Trevino to the Yankees. And I'm really glad that they made the investment in him because he has become a great, not only good offensive player, but a great caller behind the plate. He does, and I think all of the pitchers really feel confident with him sitting back there.
They do mention him a lot. Yeah.
Him and Valdi really had it going.
Yeah, he's really
he's just a button pusher, Chip.
Yeah.
Pushes the right button. That's now true with the way the Cal game. You push an electronic button.
Yeah, that is true. So weird. It is wild. And I do wonder how many of the teams that we were playing were using that as an excuse to try to buy some time because they were tired of having to face so many tough players back to back.
Oh, they put their hand up to the
I can't. Just saying, it looks a little suspicious sometimes. Totally sus.
We didn't get to talk too much about this too, but it was really neat to see all the families on the field with these players. You know, you forget that they're along with this ride. It is a long season. A lot of these guys have come from different franchises, but to see them all getting just as emotional was a pretty special moment. There was a moment on the field Wednesday night with Marcus Semien and his whole family, and Semien was so overcome with emotion. And that's what, again, I keep saying it, but that's what sports is all about, the grind. It never stops. But eventually you keep going, you put in the work, it pays off.
Right. Those players that are part of our team that have a family, those families are most certainly just a big part of it because, right, they end up having to sacrifice their time with their dad, if it's the kiddos, with their
Simeon's kids were on the field too. He has 4. They were just adorable. Yeah, it's a moment that they'll never forget.
All right, who's next?
I think that's Nathaniel.
We had Lowe again.
Yeah.
Okay, back with Lowe. Okay, awesome.
It is interesting how you watch Marcus Semien getting emotional. You know, there are moments that keep happening like that, right? When he was drafted, he probably got emotional. He changed his life. Oh my gosh. Then he makes the big leagues. Oh my gosh, my life. And now it's World Series win. You know?
Yeah.
Things that you dream about when you're little.
Absolutely.
This parade just rolls on, and we are awaiting the players and the rest of the staff to get to this stage. That's what we're waiting on.
They'll get here eventually.
There's the guy that we've been talking about.
Floors right there, but
there's got to be such a sense of relief too.
Sure. You know, he strikes me as a guy that when he signed that 7-year contract as an individual that wanted to live up to it. And again, we've already mentioned how he didn't get off to a great start in his first year. But to be the anchor, the captain really of this team. I know a lot of people think of Seager as being maybe more in that potential role because he's the shortstop. I really do feel like Simeon is the true captain of this team.
And I respect him too, because he said even after the Astros series that he hasn't been on his A game.
Yes.
But even though the frustration, you could tell he was frustrated, he didn't let that seep over. You know, he just put that game behind him, kept going.
Stayed professional.
Again, eventually he did have that breakthrough.
Yep,
in this World
and
Series.
it was huge at just the right time.
5 RBI game.
Yeah.
All right.
Bruce Bochy. And he's gone. He's gone for a moment, but
had him on the screen for a second.
Andrew Heaney.
Heaney
That's
stepped
another
up
guy who could be a starter in the rotation. He has been before.
we lost Heaney.
Okay, back to Simeon.
We're back to Simeon.
See, he's the steady guy.
Right.
Simeon continues to be the steady guy. We can always count on him. We'll go back to him.
We'll go back
we lose everybody else.
Right. Defensively, having him at second base is really cool, just because obviously he could play shortstop without a problem.
Defensive plays
and
this postseason.
that one play that he had up the middle, turn, throw from the shortstop position and throws a laser off balance, just shows you how dynamic a defender he is.
You talked about this earlier too, Chip, but defensively, Bruce Bochy said they had been so consistent on the defensive end. 5 Gold Glove finalists. I mean, for as much as this offense, again, the bats can be hot, I think you got to talk about the defense in terms of this team's success.
Here's the guy who wasn't nominated for a Gold Glove and maybe should have been.
I think he should have been.
Yes.
I agree.
Good.
I mean, you're looking at somebody who put up numbers in his rookie year that were comparable to a guy like Brooks Robinson. That's rare air. And he is going to be another one of these young players that will continue to be a cornerstone that we can build on for this, what I think a lot of people feel like is going to be an extended run where we're going to be competitive at a super high level for a long time.
You know, the expectation, Corey Seager, 2-time World Series MVP. I love his attitude and personality,
He's
guys.
just going to sit and wave, kind of casual, true to his...
He's just very calm.
Oh, MVP trophy on the roof.
Oh, the MVP trophy. He deserves this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I respect him so much, too. Even in the post game on some of the national broadcasts, he never likes to take the credit. It's all about his teammates, what his teammates do. And it's been incredible to watch him in this postseason.
He comes, you've rubbed shoulders with him more than I would, obviously. He comes across as not only being a humble guy, but also just extremely genuine.
Definitely. And, you know, people might forget, you know, the last World Series that he won with the Dodgers was played at Globe Life Field.
Yes.
We were also here for that.
Do you think that played a part in him making the decision to come here? I know he has said in public it's because the Rangers had never won a world title and I wanted to be a part of building something and being part of a legacy that way.
Oh, yeah.
But
we're back with the Boge.
Okay.
Does he have the trophy? Is that what we're hearing from our producer?
On top, it's on the roof, yep.
Nice.
World Series championship, yep.
I just don't, I say it over and over, but it's so hard not to like this guy. He was saying he was in his recliner just hanging out, and then Chris Young made that trek to Nashville, spent about 7 hours at his house. He said it was actually a tougher sell to his wife, Kim, than it was for him to get back into the game.
I'm trying to think.
Like, no!
Did he ever get tossed this year? Does he?
Did he get tossed?
He did get tossed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember the time of year, but it was like in June
Not
somewhere.
a lot, though. I think maybe
It had to do with him arguing an overturned call. I believe it was the Jonah Heim call where he is the runner is
blocking the play.
Yes,
Right?
Heim is and it's like, oh my gosh,
and
he is a mile away from the edge, but his left foot was like that far into the zone, and they
former catcher would be really hot.
no,
'Cause
and
back
he
in
walked
his
out
day,
there.
He could have just walled him. And he probably doesn't understand the change.
One of a
rules.
lot of calls. The instant replay needs to be redone, but that's another story.
It was cool to see, guys, during this World Series with Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovello, the respect that he had for Bochy. Just all-around great guy, and talking about back when he decided before the season in 2019 that he was going to step away. Lovello went up to Bochy during one of the pregame ceremonies. All these teams presented him with a gift. The Diamondbacks presented him with a fly fishing trip because he loves to fly fish. And Lovello said to Bochy, you know, I really hope you can find your way back into the game again. And look how funny that they end up meeting in the World Series.
He probably sent a letter to Bochy that he received today that all it said in the letter was, but not against us, exclamation point, exclamation point.
I meant the front office.
It was so funny, too, Lovello. Obviously, the Diamondbacks, you hate to lose. Lovello has a good sense of humor about him, too. He was like, I need to just hurt right now.
Yeah.
I need to suck my thumb and hurt. That's
Absolutely.
what he said.
He did something that was way outside the box with what he had and got all the way to the World Series. Playing small ball is unheard of. And he had a really pesky team. It's just the Rangers ended up being better.
So I managed the Boch and the World Championship trophy is the last item of this this parade.
So that means we're getting close?
I would not be surprised if somebody starts.
Someone's going to be coming around here soon.
I'm trying to think what the spacing was and how long the route is, and I don't know, maybe.
I think back, Sam, to what you were saying about Bochy and actually wooing his wife more than wooing him.
I thought that was great.
And I think there was an intangible here. It helped me because I'm not clear on this. I want to say that the Bochys have extended family that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So grandkids are close by, which was something that was like used by CY to woo him, saying, hey, you get to spend more time with the grandkids. No, I'm not, again, I'm not 100% on that.
He talked a lot about his grandkids, too, in that time, how much he enjoyed it. You know, and Steve mentioned that World Baseball Classic qualifier where he managed France. He's French-born. I don't know if a lot of people know that Bruce Bochy was born in France.
Wow.
So that's the reason why he wanted to manage that team, and that's when those thoughts first started coming back. This was a year ago in September. He was like, man, I really missed the game.
Yeah.
And how fitting, again, your first year back, you win a World Series title. The first one here in franchise history is pretty special.
I feel like that went a little bit under the radar as far as just what went on in the offseason. I was super stoked when they did sign him. And I have to admit, I'm not a gambling person. But there's a little part of me that wanted to put a $100 bet down on the Texas Rangers to win the World Series just for fun. If that would have happened.
You were betting that, Steve?
Is that 240 grand?
Something around that number, yeah. So I don't want to think about it too much. And I wouldn't have done it. But still, deep down inside, I kind of wish I did.
Deep down inside, you kind of wish you had?
You know,
Chip,
just saying.
You wish you had. It's okay.
Like,
it's not a sin to say, dang it.
The odds of them winning the World Series, when the postseason began, the odds of the Rangers
2,400 to 1 or something like that.
winning the World Series was 4%.
Yeah.
And the matchup.
I think the payoff was, though. You got to bet down, right?
Yeah, no, I was talking actually back like at day one. And that number was, I think, 5,000 to 1.
Oh, okay.
So it's not 240. It's even bigger.
And the odds of the Diamondbacks and the Rangers playing also 1,750 to 1 odds. No one expected these two teams to be in this position.
Yeah, there's some people that definitely did well on that front. Again, not wanting to harp on that too much. What a run. And what a time to celebrate.
And
I'm still floored by the number of people that are here, and I knew the number was going to be around 250,000. Quantifying that number and seeing it here in mass is overwhelming, and it's, again, a testament to how many Ranger fans have waited so long for this moment and are relishing in this opportunity to celebrate.
And you couldn't have asked for a better day, Steve.
Oh, my gosh.
It is gorgeous
Perfect
out
temperature.
here. Everyone's
Very
just
nice.
taking in the moment. And
Number on
what
the
a
screen
moment.
says 70 degrees. I like that.
We like that a lot.
That's a good number.
We look forward
Sitting
to
in
the
the
cooler
sun.
temperatures coming around here very soon.
Yeah, and it is an interesting dilemma. I wonder if we could break it down because the Rangers are so Arlington's team historically. You know, I got to believe a big part of the Arlington population is here, and then they're also Metro. Everybody across the Metroplex loves them. But the you know you go back.
I would say you're right. The majority of the season ticket holders are going to be right here in this area, organic.
We also understand, you know, while there's hundreds of thousands of fans here, we understand that there's a lot of people that had to work today that couldn't make it, but they're watching. Hopefully you're watching Fox 4 for all your coverage. And
it's a nice shot.
It really is. I've heard from a lot of fans on social media. It's just so neat to see everyone collectively coming together and celebrating this day and their team.
And I want to say this too. When I was just walking again back and forth from some of our locations because we were having to get creative and getting live shots out of here earlier today with Good Day and then the transition here to parade coverage. It is so neat to see people that are complete strangers right now treating each other like they are best pals. And there's just communications. Instead of everybody sitting in their phone and whatever, no wireless devices out. Everybody talking to one another, sharing memories, sharing thoughts, and just enjoying.
Nobody wants to fight out here today.
Being
They're
together.
all on the same team.
It's common people. But that's what sports is to me. It's one of the few things where people come together.
All right, let's get it back to
Brandon and Lauren.
Yeah, we're at the end of the parade.
We're just waiting for them to get around to the stage.
And we'll probably be back here momentarily or in the next little while. But let's get it back to Brandon, Todd, and Lauren Crisbrook. Guys.
Champion! Let's go! The Astros ain't having no break today, are they?
We're in a break right now.
I'm letting it all, let everybody go first. Here, I got it. Thank you. You ain't got to do that. Bye.
I'll be quick.
Are you an Astros fan?
I'm a Rangers fan. Well, yeah, I covered them.
Fair warning. I lost some of the letters.
Welcome back. Oh, wow. This has been pretty incredible that you've got the truck right there with Bruce Bochy in the back with the World Series trophy right there on top of the truck.
First words out of his mouth after they won. I'll tell you what, I've seen some things, but what you guys did to do this is truly incredible. An incredible morning here as we watch this victory parade. It is, we should probably note, they were supposed to have the end celebration, this 30-minute presentation at 1:15. It is 2:08.
Yeah, and there you see for that. Yeah, that was a street that was completely empty as we were going out to the parade coverage, and of course you have all these people now that are kind of breaking free and either headed home or back to their car, wherever that may be, or headed to the stage.
Right, or headed to the stage.
Because as we conclude the parade now, the players and also Bruce Bochy and Rangers front office or whatever, they're all headed to the stage there in front of Globe Life Field. And they're going to have a presentation. They're going to speak. Some players are going to say some things. Bruce Bochy's going to speak as well. And but yeah, just look at that sea of people who have been standing there for hours. Some of them got there last night even, but yeah, a lot of families showed up. The players showed up. Players showed up about an hour later than they expected, I think, but I don't think the crowd really cared. They cheered for rookie Evan Carter, for Adalis Garcia, MVP Corey Seager. I was even reading that when Chris Young, manager Chris Young passed by, or GM Chris Young passed by, they were saying, "Let's go CY." They were chanting that as he drove by in the parade. So a lot of, oh boy, they're rushing over there to get autographs. All kinds of excitement.
Yeah,
Turning around to get his picture, and there's an Arlington Police Department.
Yeah, this is expected to be a 30-minute program led by Texas Rangers Hall of Famer Chuck Morgan. So he's a presenter. He's going to hopefully start this show in just a little bit, and we can see exactly the plan of the celebration of the moment that Bruce Bochy talks, and just celebrate this moment. I know it's kind of dragging out for some. It's much longer than anticipated, but this is a once-in-a-lifetime. Hopefully not once-in-a-lifetime. Hopefully we'll be doing this again next year. Maybe this
that would be great.
This is just practice, maybe.
They're practicing. Well, next year maybe it'll be a little shorter. Who knows? Yeah, and the security, obviously, nothing but, you know, nothing short of daunting for this. 250,000 was the expected crowd size, but it looks from all of the shots that it was probably a lot more than that showing up for this, you know, World Series champion parade here in Arlington, in the entertainment district. You know, an area that is used to these large crowds, not this large, but, you know, they've got Rangers games there, Cowboys games there. But again, they've only had a handful of situations, I guess, that they had to deal with, some kind of climbing up a light pole and all kinds of other things, but otherwise fairly normal, I guess, for a parade crowd of this size.
Yeah, I think what's neat to have to view is the players along with their families in the trucks with them. I think a lot of times we think about the sacrifice that these players make, and, you know, really focusing their whole lives, their whole careers on these moments, on this one moment of winning the World Series. But a lot of times the families, I mean, even though these players are paid pretty well, the families give up a lot too. They're, you know, on the road a lot, and so we even saw Bruce Bochy with some of his grandkids in the truck with him too. So this is a special moment, not only for this team, but for these families as well.
Yeah, a lot of these fans just talking about being, you know, celebrating with this team for so many years. Peyton was out earlier talking with some of them, and she joins us live now, right? She's out there kind of talking to fans. So how did they like the parade? What did they think?
Oh, I think that it was the loudest when Bruce Bochy and the trophy came by. They're really excited, but now I have some elbow room. You can tell they're really excited, but we're kind of spreading out now. Some people are headed to the main stage. Some people are headed to their cars. They are so...
And I have a feeling that
there you go.
We're going to hear from Peyton Yeager as she is overcome by fans there. So lots of people excited, lots of people. You can see everyone spreading out now. This is going to be really interesting to see how everyone gets out of this area and gets back to their vehicles and gets back to the daily grind, if we will. Some obviously staying for this celebration. I know that there are many, a whole huge area of people that are waiting and are going to sit there and watch this presentation. They've got the screens and monitors put up. So some of these fans aren't going anywhere, at least not yet.
No, and they're plenty excited, as we saw there in Peyton's live shot. Yeah, just been there all day long. And of course, we saw a lot of families there with kids, so they've been waiting. But boy, they're just so excited when all of those players in the vehicles passed by in the parade, yelling and cheering and just really celebrating this team.
Yeah, we saw some of the players drinking beer. We saw some of the players throwing stuff out at the crowd. So some of them were recording as they were going down in the trucks as well. So it's interesting that the Rangers took this approach to this parade. A lot of these victory parades that we've seen from some of these teams, they put all the players together like in huge, I don't know, like almost like, you know, huge trucks. And they'll have them all together and it's like one big party. So they would do like one huge truck with, you know, the coach, and then one huge truck with half of the players, and then another truck with half, and it's just one big, huge thing that goes through. Yeah. So it's almost like a huge like rally. This was more of like a slow roll, if you will, where they gave each player. Maybe that was done to give each player their own separate celebration, to allow them to be with their families, to allow them that one-on-one time, or, you know, one on 100, 200,000, you know, with the fans. So maybe it was seen as more of a personal thing. But so interesting to see how the Rangers decided to, because they admitted they looked at other championship, other victory parades, and decided what they wanted to do for their team. So definitely something interesting we saw come out of that. And also to see the trophy just sitting on top of the truck there. Right. I was like, whoa, I hope that thing's attached. I don't know. I mean, they were going slow enough. So, but, you know, definitely, just some moments there that I as I've seen other victory ones, was a little different with this go round. Yep. There's a lot of folks out there just really enjoying, and you know, as some of, like Lauren was saying, some of them are headed toward the stage, and some of them headed toward parking lots. Boy, just really spread out there. Okay, so this. Yeah, that's this would be area, yes, there it is. Eventually, yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, this is the area where they would be gathering toward the stage, and you know, again, at some point, the players are going to address the crowd, and as is, we're told, Bruce Bochy to address them. And there's one of those dots, the blue dots there. Somebody had actually made a costume and dressed up as the dots to head out there. Very creative. All sorts of creativity we've seen this morning. Again, it's let's see, we're at 2:17. This event was supposed to start, this 30-minute presentation was supposed to start at 1:15. Yes. So a little behind, but hey, you don't get this moment very often. No, you don't. And boy, you can just tell from the sounds of the crowd there that they're just still pumped up, excited, ready to cheer on the team, because, you know, like I say, some of them have just been there all day long in the sun. Not a lot of access to even move around, really, or get food or use the restrooms. I know the Choctaw Stadium was open for that purpose, but I think once they got close to parade time, it was just really impossible for them to kind of get around toward that area. But yeah, just, I don't know, they said 250,000. I think there's more than that. It seems like there's a lot more than that out there. And this is one of those areas, too, where you can get, you know, a lot of real estate there to spread out. You know, if this was in a city or some streets that kind of didn't have a whole lot of room, I suppose that the crowds probably wouldn't be as large. But this is one of those. They've got a plaza. They've got parking lots that were filled with people. So this really allowed a lot of people to come out there and cheer on the Rangers. Yeah, it will be interesting to see when they give us the final counts. Arlington Police really hasn't been giving any updates. Arlington Fire, too, out there as well. We've got the Texas Rangers. We've got the Grand Prairie Police Department. I mean, there are so many people that are working this and trying to make sure it's safe. So hopefully we'll get some numbers, and they'll let us know exactly how many fans estimated that showed up there in Arlington. But, yeah, these fans clearly not going anywhere right now. No, not anywhere fast, that is. All right, again, so we're sort of awaiting the presentation from the stage. Yeah, and again, I mean, if you're kind of hanging with us here, you've been hanging a while. The players, I think, got in the parade, or at least to the parade site, about an hour late. So again, but they had
Plenty of floats filled with Rangers personnel, with the players, and just really something special for this crowd.
Yeah, Sam, Steve, Chip standing by. What you guys think of this parade?
I mean, I wish we were out in the mix along the streets. You know, that would be fun. But you mentioned it's an hour late, but they're taking their time. You know, this is their first World Series title, so they're going to enjoy this. I'm really excited, guys, to hear some of these players talk when they get to the stage. So often we hear them talk post-game and things like that, but I have a feeling they might get just a little bit more emotional talking to their fans that have been waiting for this for so many years.
Or a little more raucous.
Yeah.
A little more loud and crazy.
I'm hoping that we don't have any of those kind of moments.
That might be
but
fun. Great. Not the control crane.
I guess it's one of those things, right? You let the emotions out
Let it roll.
and show everybody how much you appreciate these fans being out here to celebrate with them a monumental achievement. And I am thrilled to have this opportunity to be right here with you guys to see this firsthand and to see all the people that have come out. Again, we've said it 100 times. It is overwhelming to see their support. Flags waving, people dressed up as dots. You have other people that have garb that is like classic original gear from the 1970s that they are wearing still.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely incredible how well they take care of their stuff, and they're wearing it now because it's like, yeah, finally I get to kind of use this stuff in a celebratory mode where we've won a championship. So yeah, it's just a lot of really cool things about what we're seeing right now. And though I'd like to, again, see them get up here on stage pretty soon, I understand them wanting to take their own sweet time and celebrating with the fans every little step of the way here through the parade path.
I do wonder how it's gonna work. You know,
yeah, I wonder if the players might
Chris
come
Young is
behind
going to certainly speak, right? The general
Probably
manager.
Bruce Bochy, I would think.
Bruce Bochy. I don't know. Is Mr. Davis done talking, you think? Maybe has he talked enough? Probably.
I feel like he is not going to talk because I feel like he's a behind-the-scenes guy.
Now. It's turned to
If the fans start chanting his name, then maybe he'll go up there and say a few words.
Then you're right. Seager has to talk. He's the MVP. He probably doesn't want to. I mean, he'd rather just take a back seat, but he has to talk. And I don't know.
I think that if the Ranger players, if the Ranger players could vote for one guy that they would want to be their representative talking, there's no doubt that it would be unanimous, and that would be Nathaniel Lowe.
Okay.
Nathaniel Lowe is the most chatty guy I've ever seen at first base.
Great.
He doesn't meet a stranger, and he just wants to talk. And even when he's doing pre-game, post-game, everything, he wants to talk.
And, you know, being a member of the media, you do appreciate that from a guy who every day is hounded by reporters. Every game they've got to talk.
So what you're saying, that's kind of a joke like that. Lowe. Have Lowe go up there. He'll take up all the time.
The old Far Side cartoon where the two bears are in the sights of a hunter and he's pointing. Yeah, that's what all the other players are doing to Nathaniel Lowe. Okay. Talk to him.
And he was a guy, too, that talked about wanting to do this for the fans, for the World Series began.
Sure.
He said he was out at a Mexican restaurant and a bunch of people approached him saying, hey, good luck, man, and how much that meant to him. So you don't think this means a lot to these players to have this kind of showing here on a historic day for this franchise? You're wrong, because they absolutely do. They wanted to bring a title back to Arlington for this fan base.
So I bet for a time you could have been a Texas Ranger and been kind of on the down low.
Been a what?
A Texas Ranger and been on the down low.
Yeah, some rough years.
You know, go out to a restaurant and maybe people didn't.
I would agree that you could pull that off.
Because they wear a hat, number one, but you know they weren't getting a lot of TV time. But now it'll be difficult.
It would be really difficult. The teams of the early '80s, no problem at all, right?
Yes.
This team, not so much. Yeah. And they deserve the accolades.
They do.
They were quite the resilient bunch, and it's just, again, thrilling to see them get to that mountaintop.
But we talk about it and we like, what a surprise. Yes, last year they weren't even close, right? And they flipped it. But this year they were very good. and they
Especially the start of the season, they were great.
And they ended kind of rough, but they still tied the Houston Astros, last year's World Series winner, and then they lost based on head-to-head play. So they went in as a wild card, but they could have won the American League West. They had the same record.
They lost it on the last day.
Yeah, they dropped into a tie, and then the Astros had the tiebreaker. But they're just a good team. They didn't trip their way into it. They are a great team. So it wasn't like they didn't deserve to be there. They talk about this turnaround, but they are a good team, and they are going to be a good team for a while.
When you talk about this sports market here, the last championship, the Dallas Mavericks, I didn't think the Rangers were going to be the next team to win it. I really didn't.
I think a lot of people were thinking it was going to be the Dallas Stars, who have in the last couple of seasons been kind of getting close to knocking on the door.
And even, the Mavericks making that crazy run to the Western Conference Finals 2 seasons ago wasn't expected. But I didn't think it would happen this soon for the Rangers. It looks like they proved all of us wrong, which I'm fine with being wrong in this case.
Very good. So you're not going to call the Cowboys next?
We'll see, Steve. We're talking about football this weekend when they play Philadelphia, but right now we're focused on the
right
Rangers.
Here on the Rangers. Yeah, let's not go there.
People say the Cowboys every year. They're probably getting tired of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all of these fans right now. They're like the rest of us, just patiently looking on. It's not really a rowdy crowd right now. I think so many of them got out here so early that they probably need a coffee or two. I know that I need an espresso shot. Getting up at 5 a.m., it's not something that I'm used to.
I'm sorry. Sorry,
you're not going to get any sympathy from me.
You're not sorry.
I'm just saying, no sympathy from me.
I know, you're used to it.
That's true.
So things are happening here, though. We have like the Rangers. You know this team of Rangers dancers, their names? I can't remember. But the Rangers dance team.
I want to call them the Rangerettes, and that's not right.
Yeah, that's
not right.
Junior college team.
I know.
East Texas.
It's neat for all the people that work at Globe Life Field to take this in. They're there every single game. The people working the concessions. We've seen so many of them throughout this whole playoff run, and it's really a celebration for everyone involved.
I got to think that I bet that there's at least 100, probably more people that are employed part-time to work the home games, doing concessions, doing those kind of things. And a lot of them don't. You think it's probably more?
Yeah,
it's hard for me to kind of quantify
people
that.
Dusting off the seats. And
sure, those behind the scenes. But I was just thinking vendors.
Okay.
But yeah, they are a part of this, and I'm sure they're celebrating just as much as all of us are.
Yeah.
Well, I do think, yes. I think those part-time people, all those jobs we talked about, all the jobs that get done in here, they all feel aligned with the team.
Yeah.
You're right, and that's really special for any individual to be able to say that's my team. For that individual who gets to say that, that's great.
Huge.
Important.
And for this ballpark too, this was the first time that the Rangers were able to host a playoff game. This was the very first year. Again, in 2020, the World Series was also here as well. But again, it was a neat experience to be here in this ballpark and witness Rangers playoff baseball for the first time in 7 years. 7-year absence that this team had not been in the playoffs.
And not only that, playoff baseball where they actually got to watch the Rangers win a game. That ALDS game where they knocked the Orioles out, that was the first win for them in a long time, because in 2016 the Jays came in and just swept us right out.
Yes.
And the year before we were swept right out. So yeah, it's been a long time for the Ranger faithful to see a playoff victory, and just to be able to see them build all the way to the ultimate.
But you know, if you count the game, there weren't that many games here.
No, only.
No.
There weren't that many. It's like unfair.
Yeah, they were the Road Warriors. 11-0
that's
on the
legend
road.
because they were, the wild card team, and they had to go that route. But think about it, they lost 3 here to Houston.
Yeah.
And then they beat the Orioles 1 game here.
So there's only 6 home games,
and
right?
And they won 1. Yeah, and they won 1.
They won
in the
2
World
playoff
Series.
games at home. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's nuts. And they had a great record at home. They won 50 games at home this year. That's hard to do.
And it's a record, guys, that may not be touched for a very long time.
Sure, that 11-0
straight
mark.
on the, that's not going to be touched for a while.
There's no doubt about it, because again, it's just so difficult to win in a hostile environment. And it was cool to watch them go out, land some early punches, if you will, and take the crowd out a lot of those times. Yes, there were some closer games.
I can see where the guys are. It was hard to. They are at the TXU energy sign over our left shoulder. So they're just to the, looking at that stage behind us, they're stage left. And
So we're getting
they're
close.
aligned. They're all gathered there. And they are, well, I mean, it's like they're, ladies and gentlemen, they're in the building.
They're looking like some world champs is what they're looking
exactly
like.
right,
They're
Sam.
ready to talk to their fans, and they're looking like some world champions.
These are no pressure moments.
No doubt.
It's just like, what do you say? They'll love you. Whatever you say, say it. You're a hero today.
You talk about the environment on the road, and it was neat covering the ALCS in Houston.
Yeah.
Because Adolis Garcia, much like Jose Altuve is to these Rangers fans, he became public enemy #1 for Astros fans, taking the crowd completely out of it, which is all, you know, that Houston crowd, they're a rowdy crowd. They get into it. So that was pretty fun to see.
So while we're waiting for the Rangers to actually come out on stage and start that part of the presentation, Steve, I guess we're going to need to go and send it back to the studio.
Let's do it.
All right.
Lauren and Brandon.
Hey there, guys.
Talk us through this.
We've got a little bit closer view, thank goodness, from one of our cameras of all the players. Good. We saw Matt Bush there, that little, look at that cute little girl in the red. She was
that's so sweet.
it must be his
There's
daughter.
Bruce Bochy.
He was sitting on his shoulders a minute ago, so it looks like he's going to be carrying her. Yeah, you see Bruce Bochy there, several of the players. Looks like they're all, got Chapman there. Looks like they're all just kind of gathering and probably getting ready to start. It's like they're just, you know what? It's a lot of hurry up and wait, isn't it? Just in everything in general, in life, right? So,
yeah. While we wait, let's take a break.
We'll be right back. are standing by right now for the big celebration, the big presentation of the World Series. Texas Rangers, the champions. We're waiting to hear them speak, raise the trophy as well. Manager Bruce Bochy was carrying that around a few minutes ago, so we're standing by. They have been told to stand by. We have been told to stand by, so
we're patiently waiting as they set things up here.
Yeah, this was supposed to be at 1:15, so.
Yeah, things running just a lot late.
A little smidge late. A lot late, but that's okay. You know what? I think they're just trying to savor the moment. So.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, this is just a town, a city, an area that's been just waiting for this for so many years, so many decades. I was looking at the Texas Rangers X feed. I love this quote by Nathan Eovaldi. It's the only team out there that says Texas, so you're playing for the state.
Right, on their jerseys.
Yeah, so it's
it's not like
pressure there, and you can kind of understand why so many people came out. And just really impressive, this crowd, to see just a sea of red, white, and blue supporting the Rangers. The original estimate was that they expected 250,000. Some of the articles I'm seeing with Dallas Morning News and Star Telegram saying that way over that. A lot more people than just 250,000. So.
Yeah. Oh, here we are, right with some of the players. Look at that, just hanging out with Mr. Chapman there.
Great. We're just hanging with them, you know.
There's Spores as well.
And
we saw Gray a few minutes ago.
Yeah. So, and Max Scherzer was there just to the right earlier. But yeah, just really kind of a neat, really special parade that they had. All of the players in separate vehicles with their families, kind of spread out, so the crowd kind of got to enjoy each one of the players and wave at them, and they got a chance to kind of hear the chants and applause and yelling from the crowd each time they passed by. So just a really neat celebration. But wow, look at that sea of people there gathering at Globe Life Field, and wow, just the immense undertaking that this was really is pretty impressive. Starting even just last night with people heading out to camp out overnight just to get a spot along the parade route. And they've just been energetic and yelling and screaming the entire time. A lot of them treating this like a tailgate party, bringing Teds, bringing grills.
I mean, like a real party. I saw Nathaniel Lowe catch a beer from a fan and then chug it, and then he lost his shirt.
Yeah.
So, some of these players are really letting it go.
Yeah, they were saying this may be the largest party Arlington has ever seen and the largest party North Texas has ever seen. So they're the players there. They are gathering and waiting at the stage. A big, huge stage set up with monitors, big TV monitors on either side. And they are getting ready for sort of a presentation, I guess, of sorts. Bruce Bochy will speak. The players will speak. Right in the center of it, right in front of it all, is Steve Eager, Sam Gannon, and Chip. Hey, guys.
You know what I like, guys? You know what I like? A few minutes ago, probably, I don't know, we were watching the monitor here 2-3 minutes ago. Dane Dunning hugged John Gray, and like a real hug.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like they hadn't seen each other today, and like a hug, like, you know, those guys spend a lot of time in the bullpen together, and I don't know what's happened the last 2 days. They haven't had a chance to. It was like a real hug, you know, like, bro, it was good.
And
these guys are tight.
You know, we've talked a lot about several players. Dunning is one of the guys we haven't talked about yet. And how pivotal was he in his flexibility this season, starting off in the bullpen, taking that. Sorry about the strong wind, everybody, but
taking a tough start on occasion.
Well, no, but he started off taking that bitter pill of, hey, you didn't make the rotation. You're going to be our long guy. And then he goes out, and in April and May, his ERA is sub-2. I mean, like under 1 for the first month. And it was very impressive at how he was mixing his pitches really well. He then has the Grom thing thrown into his lap, and you're going to have to take that spot. And for a good month and a half, he acted like an ace. And you could consistently count on him getting 7 innings or so, and was huge in just helping that ship stay stay level as they continue to plow through the season.
Yeah, it's nice to see, too, guys, these players, teammates share a warm embrace. With each round that they advanced in the playoffs, they're asked, oh, you know, are you able to think about how many you've won on the road, et cetera, et cetera? They're like, well, not yet. We got to move on. And,
hey, Chuck Morgan is talking. We're going to be quiet now.
Yeah, somebody's at the microphone. Somebody's
hey, pleasant good afternoon.
Chuck Morgan.
On behalf of our presenting sponsor, Coca-Cola, welcome to the 2023 Texas Rangers World Series Championship Celebration. For all of us that are fans of Rangers baseball, our lives have not been complete. We've been waiting a long time for this. Some have been waiting for over 50 baseball seasons, waiting for the celebration of a lifetime. For me, I have been waiting 40 years to make this announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the world champion Texas Rangers. Ranger fans, our lives are now complete. The support that you've given this baseball team for over 50 years, y'all deserve this. A tip of the Rangers cap to all of you for being here today, and enjoy every minute of this. Today is a special day for the city of Arlington and for the great Lone Star State. And our leadoff man could not be any happier. He served his country as a United States Marine. He served the city of Arlington with a 13-year career as a police officer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the mayor of Arlington, Texas, the Honorable Jim Ross. Well, hello, Ranger fans, and welcome to the American Dream City, Arlington, Texas. And does anybody believe that the Rangers have made a lot of dreams come true now? I'm sorry, does anybody believe that the Rangers made the dream come true? Folks, 51 years ago, the boy mayor, Tom Vandergrift, traveled to Washington, D.C. and convinced the senators to move to Arlington, Texas and become the Texas Rangers. 51 years ago, the Rangers were born and they've been raised here in Arlington, Texas, and they have given and given and given wonderful memories to everybody in this community all through North Texas. But now, they have given us one very special memory, and that is the World Championship trophy right here in Arlington, Texas. And once and for all, this team proved what Arlington knows to be true, and that's we're better together. Thank y'all for being here. Rangers, thank you for making our dreams come true. God bless y'all. Batting second today, he's a long-time Texas Rangers fan, and my guess he is the happiest Rangers fan here today. During his time as the principal owner of the Texas Rangers, the Rangers have won 4 American League West titles, 3 American League pennants, a new ballpark for the Rangers to call home, and now the first World Series championship in franchise history. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a great Texas Rangers fan, the managing general partner, majority owner of the world champion Texas Rangers, Mr. Ray Davis. I have so many people to thank, and it's dangerous, and I'm going to leave some people out. But first I want to thank the city of Arlington for helping us build these beautiful ballparks and supporting us all these years. When we bought the team in 2010, we went to the World Series. And we went to the World Series again in 2011. I thought, well, this is easy. We're going to be back there every year. How little did I know at the time. You're going to hear a lot today about the ball club, CY, coaching, all of our players. But I wanted to take a minute to thank our Ranger employees. Of all the long hours of work, our front office, the clubhouse, the trainer, the scout, and again, I'm going to leave some people out. But it's a team effort, and that's what made this team successful. Thank you, CY, thank you, Coach, thank you, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, for now, and forever. When we hear the names of the players on this team, when we talk Rangers baseball with our kids and our grandkids, we will tell them about one of the greatest Rangers teams ever, the 2023 Rangers. Last fall, Chris Young had a plan to put together a championship team, and not just for a year, but a team that will be good for multiple years. He grew up here. He grew up a Rangers fan. All-state in basketball and baseball at Highland Park High School. Rangers Rookie of the Year in 2005. It's an honor to work with this guy. Please welcome the Executive Vice President and General Manager of the World Champion Texas Rangers, CY Chris Young.
Rangers fans, what a day. This is a dream come true to look out and see so many people here celebrating the team that I grew up rooting for, but more importantly, an unbelievable team of special, special people. As I think about this team, I think about all the adversity they faced this year, the ups and the downs, the hard times, the times when things felt impossible. And I hope for each of you that when you're going through hard times, that this team can inspire you to keep fighting and keep believing. Because that's what this team did, and they brought home a world championship because of it. I want to thank each and every one of these players and their families for all they've given this organization. I want to thank our coaching staff, and of course I want to thank Bruce Bochy and his family. Everyone chose us, and because of that, they brought home a championship. Thank you, guys. But fans, today is about you. You fans deserve this. You fans have waited a long time. That wait is over. Congratulations, you are champions. Before I leave this stage, I want to hear my favorite 3 words from all of you as loud as you can. I need a Let's Go Rangers chant. 1, 2, 3. Let's go Rangers! Ladies and gentlemen, when did you first think this could be a special season? Was it a sweep of the National League champion Phillies to open the season? Was it a Jonah walk-off home run in April? Was it Nathan Eovaldi's 3-hit shutout of the Yankees in April? Was it the Adolis walk-off home run against the Twins in September? There were so many days this baseball season where all the parts of this baseball puzzle started to look like they would all fit. And then watching the guiding hand that managed this baseball team through the long road that is April to October, dealing with some injuries, some tough stretches, baseball-type things that are tough to recover from, but not the 2023 Texas Rangers. I don't get to vote, but if I did, he's my manager of the year. And if it were up to me, they should go ahead and put him in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He is something special. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to say this. Please welcome the manager of the world champion Texas Rangers, number 15, Bruce Bochy.
Thank you. Thank you. How sweet it is, huh? How sweet it is. Wow. I tell you what, it's my first year in Texas. You guys can party. I love it. Love it. I got to start with CY, though, first of all. I can't thank him enough for picking up the phone about this time last year and giving me a call. Never my wildest dream I think I'd be here, but here I am. With CY's leadership, his vision, his commitment to getting these world-class talented players to make this dream become a reality. So I can't thank him enough. Ray Davis, he gave us the tools to get this done. He provided everything we needed. So Ray, thank you. A real quick story about Ray. He had a vision too, and he wanted, bring winning baseball to you. But he mentioned this. He had this saying. I wanted to put something on the wall here. I need something on the wall. Well, Ray, I couldn't be happier for you. You got it. He called it a skin on the wall. So good. Thank you. And to you fans, real quick, I see why I touch on it. I'm going to add a little bit. Don't ever think you don't play a role in this. You do, trust me. These guys feed off you. We heard you in Tampa. We heard you in Baltimore. We heard you in Houston. And we could hear and feel you in Arizona. We play for you guys. You're the reason we do this. So thank you very much. Thank you. To the coaching staff, I got to talk about them a second because of the incredible job they did. I mean, they work so hard. I mean, they're smart, they're dedicated, and they just wanted to have these guys prepared for the moment. And I tell you, they were relentless with their work. So I want to thank all the coaching staff for the work they did. Thank you. Okay. Now, I got to turn to these band of brothers here. Last 36 hours, I've been asked, hey, does this ever get old? It doesn't get old, trust me, no. Not when you get to watch these guys with their deep determination, their resilience, and the heart that brought them together and play as one to do what they did. These guys put aside their individual action to become collective power to win a world championship here with the Texas Rangers for the first time in our franchise. So I'd like to thank them. And I'll tell you, years from now, I'm going to think about this moment, and I'm going to cherish the time that I had to spend with them. We talk about spring training. We're going to do something special. Well, fellas, we did something special here together. Thank you. I can't thank them enough. The last thing I went in on, my granddaughter Maddie she's on the parade. We're done with the parade. She goes, Papa, I'm going to do that again. I'm with her. I want to do this again. Let's go. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for me, he would have been the starting pitcher in the All-Star game. Great job all year. First pitcher to be 5-0 in the postseason. Winning pitcher in Game 5. He's a Texan. Please welcome pitcher number 17, Nathan Eovaldi.
Check. Yeah, we're good.
So being from Texas, does this one feel a little bit more special?
This one feels very special. Starting it from the very beginning with this group of guys that we have, I mean, this is up there, best moments.
What was your feeling the other night when it happened, when the end of the ball game? What went through your mind?
I mean, it was a battle out there that whole game. Zach threw the ball really well, but our offense, you know, you can't give them enough credit. Everything that they've been able to do for us all year long. You know, Corey was able to get that knock, get it going, and Carter had the base hit. And Sports was able to slam the door and get out there on the field and celebrate as fast as possible.
Nathan, all year, how about the defense you had behind you? Guys just did one hell of a job out there on defense.
Yeah, defense was unbelievable all year long. I mean, we're making plays left and right out there, making it easy to go out there and attack the hitters. And, I mean, you can't say enough good things.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Eovaldi, give him a hand.
Thank y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to hear from an RBI machine. He can electrify a ball game with his bat or his arm. He's an all-star, the ALCS MVP, number 53, Adolis Garcia.
Muy contento, agradecido por la oportunidad. Este equipo hizo tremendo trabajo. Nos fajamos y de verdad que para mí es un orgullo estar aquí hoy y ser parte de este equipo.
Very happy, very excited to be here, be a part of this team. They're amazing. The journey that we've been on together, it's just great to be a part of this team right here.
Y quiero darle un agradecimiento especial a ustedes que siempre nos apoyaron y creyeron en nosotros y siempre creyeron que podíamos ganar el campeonato.
And I want to give a special shout out and a big thank you to all of you, every single one of us that believed in us right here. You've all been amazing the whole year.
Adolis Garcia and the great Will Nadal. Will's a star in the MLB Network now. And the Rangers played 179 games this season, and this guy played every game. Big home run on Wednesday night. He led the American League in hits and runs. All-star second baseman, Marcus Semien.
I just want to say thank you to all the fans for showing up. Continue to bring that energy. This is the standard now. Keep bringing that energy. Everybody in this room right here, everybody on this stage, we're going to keep working for you guys. So thank you, thank you.
You know, I mentioned Marcus played 179 games. Was there ever a moment that anybody said to you, hey, Marcus, what do you think about coming out of the game?
Oh, multiple times. Bochy was tired to see me get out. He told me, you know, take a day or two, but yeah, I stuck with it. So here we are, world champions.
We love you, buddy. Awesome. Thank you. Marcus Semien. Ladies and gentlemen, I've watched Rangers baseball for 40 years, over 3,000 games. And I think this guy hits a baseball about as hard as anybody I've ever seen. And I'm not even sure if we need to even say his name in the state of Texas or anywhere else, because all we have to say is MVP. MVP. Two-time World Series MVP, number 5, Corey Seager.
We appreciate all your support, but I just got one thing to say. You know, everybody was wondering what would happen if the Rangers didn't win the World Series. I guess we'll never know.
MVP! MVP! All these players on this stage have some special gifts that they've taken care of over the years. And they have all given all of us this special gift that we will remember the rest of our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let's hear it for the 2023 World Champion Texas Rangers.
Celebration.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. See the confetti there falling on the crowd as each of those Rangers players got to stand up there on stage, several of them being introduced, and then they all got to hold the trophy, hoist it up over their heads. What a great moment.
You can feel the joy. You can see the smiles on their face. I mean, they're just so proud. And, you know, they said, this is for the fans. They wanted the fans to know, thank you for believing in us. Thank you for cheering for us, even when things were tough. And now we're world champions.
Very
so cool.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and wrap up our coverage. Stay with us. Welcome back. The sea of people now making their way back to their cars, making their way back home after that presentation from Bruce Bochy, from Chuck Morgan, from the players.
And some looking like they just don't want to go. Just want to stay there and just soak in the moment, that's for sure. And Steve, Sam, Chip standing by as well. Now that was cool. That was pretty cool to see all the players up there together and just feel their excitement, huh, guys?
It was cool. You know, I hate to admit when I'm wrong, but I do it. I thought once it got to be about 4 hours in for our viewers to have been watching this show, we should just end the parade, say it. But this made it.
Was special.
That was Chuck Morgan on edge of tears all the time after all his time and all these players. That was great. I wouldn't have missed that for the world.
Absolutely.
I love hearing Bruce Bochy because if there was ever a doubt if he may not be returning, he said he shared a moment with his granddaughter during the break. He said, I want to experience this again. Let's go. So Bochy, of course, he will be back.
And a lot of this team is going to be coming back too. Can't wait to see how they are next season. But just, again, let's just relish also at the same time in this championship.
It's a great vibe.
It's awesome right now.
Feels great.
Really neat.
So fitting that the season began in Surprise, Arizona. It ended in Phoenix, and it officially ends here in front of their fans here in Arlington.
Yep, really cool.
Thank you for watching. We're going to send it back. We really appreciate you watching us and sticking with us through a long afternoon, but it had a payoff, and
just so
we are
much
so glad
fun.
you got to see it.
We've waited a long time for it, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Spring
guys.
training, by the way, 113 days. That's what some viewer just told me.
Yeah, the Rangers can go home. They can rest up for the winter, but it's not going to be long, and they'll be right back at it.
Yeah, so February, Surprise, Arizona, about 30 miles from the site where the Rangers won the World Series Wednesday night. So that's going to be kind of cool to go back to Arizona as the world champions. 2024 regular season begins March 28th when Texas hosts the Chicago Cubs, and we expect the World Championship banner,
of course,
to be unfurled at Globe Life Field that day. So let the partying continue.
That's awesome.
Rangers are going to face the Astros for the first time a few days later, and that's April 5th. They're going to play the Diamondbacks for the first time May 28th. As we're looking at the schedule, Globe Life Field will host the 2024 All-Star Game and festivities starting July 15th. And the champagne, it just continues to keep flowing
there. Yes.
Wherever the Rangers pop up, the trophy and the champagne seems to follow.
Just a few more seconds with that trophy. There you go.
Bad thing.
Well, thank you for joining us for this special coverage of the Texas Rangers World Series Parade. We'll have the complete coverage of the day's events on Fox 4 News at 5. Have a good afternoon.
Go Rangers.